Hey there, how's it going? You absolute legends. Welcome to Nat 20 Productions Edge of Legend. And it's awesome to have you here. Highlight of my week, as always. Without further ado, let's do a quick introduction, and then we'll do a quick recap, and then we'll kick things off. So starting off this introduction, let's go with Ian. Ian, tell them who you are, who you're playing, and what your pronouns are.
Hi, my name's Ian. I play Woodwort. My pronouns are he, him, they, them. And what else was there? No, Woodwort is a gnome druid. I should be more specific about that part. And he's got a buddy named Mush, who's a badger.
That's right.
Now we've got it. Okay.
It's okay. Sometimes, you got to turn the key before the engine, turns over, and that's all firing on all cylinders. All right. So that being said, Mr. Michael Powell, tell them who you are, who you're playing, and what your pronouns are.
Well, I'm Michael Powell, and I'm playing the fabulous Rufa, and he's a human investigator. My pronouns are he, him, they, them. Same for Rufa, and yeah, there you go.
All right. Next up, Sam. Tell them who you are, who you're playing, and what your pronouns are. Happened a little better that time.
Hello, I'm Sam Sterling, and I'm playing Ichipoktan Papakui, better known as La Pacifica Dorita. And it gets easier every time. She is a dwarf, spirit, instinct, barbarian here to smash some stuff.
Smashy. And next up, Kylie, tell them who you are, who you're playing, and what your pronouns are.
Hello, I am Kylie, or Kai. It really doesn't matter at this point. I play Shionibus, the Elven Ranger. Our little hand motions of all of us. I love it so much. I go by she, her, and I think that was all the questions.
Okay.
I'm turning into Ian, guys.
Yeah, we definitely should be, or at least I should be better at this, and it'll slowly spread until everyone else forgets. But we have one more person to test. PJ.
Oh, no.
You're up, right?
You skipped somebody.
Sidney.
Last but not least, because my plan was to bookend the two people that couldn't be here last week. So we started with Ian, and we're ending with Sidney. Sidney, tell them who you are, who you're playing, and what your pronouns are.
Hi, my name is Sidney. I play Alona, the half-elf cloistered cleric, and my pronouns are she, her.
And we didn't forget about you. You live in our heads rent-free, so
That's true.
Oh,
you're always there.
Yeah.
But Mom was gone that day.
Mom was gone. Yeah. And we'll get into all the problems. Whenever Mom is gone, bad things happen. We're going to get to that in a second. My name is PJ Megaw. I am the GM of Edge of Legend, Nat 20 Productions. My pronouns are he, him, and today I'll be playing everything in between. So without further ado, here's a quick recap. If you didn't get the chance to see Mr. Michael Powell knock it out of the park last episode, three of our amazing heroes wandered down a long road into the coastal city of Dunstan, where it was a little weird, kind of got a weird vibe to it. Everyone in the tavern also kind of had a weird vibe. The tavern, named after this gigantic well, this giant, poorly, no safety structure, just an OSHA violation waiting to happen of a well in the middle of the city. And they go to this tavern called the Town Well, named after said OSHA violation. And they learn some things about this paladin that came here, has been here for a week, but he hasn't done anything, hasn't even been seen for 4 days. What's going on? And all signs point to, well, he's probably staying at that giant holy building at the top of this massive hill that was one part church, one part college. But since everyone here became working folk, they didn't really care about that building, and it's kind of gone to disuse. So walking up that hill, sure enough, skip a very amazing autograph session by Ichi and an awkward interaction with Steve and Jeremy. They meet, knocking on the door 3 times. Tobias Raphaelis, House Raphaelis, Grand Hospitaller of the Platinum Hammer. And he basically greets them as one would after a long day of staying in bed with a sheet wrapped around his waist and a look of, who are you to disturb me? You come to find out that bit of a lascivious paladin man, as he is Well, we're not gonna go into the details. Go watch that episode. You'll get more the nitty gritty. After a sock on the jaw and a bunch of other issues, Tobias suits up and they're like, "So orcs are coming," and he's like, "No, they're not. I killed all the zombies. There's nothing else here." And everyone's like, "What do you mean you killed the zombies?" And he's like, "That's what I was called here for, the zombies." And after a little bit of searching around the city, Shionibus, perched high, like a, I don't know, say someone who belongs to an assassination organization might do, perched high, she's able to see a bunch of dead bodies down by the coast getting pulled into some secret tunnel. And shortly thereafter, 4 blue rock orc tribe zombies start crawling out of the well, followed by one giant super goblin abomination. They all fight together and they stop. And when they kill the goblin, he kind of dissolves into 20 little goblins and they sizzle and fade away. And that is where we're picking up episode 21. However, we're not going to start in the town with the 21 or 20 sizzling goblins. No, we're going to cut to Alona and Woodward, who are outside the city of Dunstan, who has no idea any of this has been going on. So we cut to the 3 of you, including Mush, as Mush is just literally just sniffing blades of grass, biting them, chewing on them, spitting some out, plopping his furry butt down, not giving a single F, just being a badger.
I would not be surprised if Woodward's doing the exact same thing. Because we've decided to have a seat. If he doesn't know anything's wrong is happening inside of the town or city, then I'm sure that seat is probably next to Mush is comfy enough for him.
Okay.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
Has anyone been able to get in touch with Morel and Antigone and Hera with Joey?
Nope. You all have moved into Bryax, moved straight through Bryax, and you've been in Dunstan. So you have to go back through Bryax to get to your camp.
No one wants to do that. So Lona's pacing.
Mhm.
She's just pacing back and forth, and she's trying to figure out a way to get a message back to them so they can take Joey back to Methune and more Methune. And like she's like going through all these plans in her head, and she's pacing. And she's also kicking stones because she realized that last episode, the episode before that, she stole a bunch of things. And like that's so weird of her to do. Like they taught her in the temple like to not steal things. And why would all of a sudden she suddenly be okay with that? Just because something in her head was just like, it's fine, it's probably important, maybe. And then she stole it anyway. And then all of a sudden she like used her magic to lie. And now everyone thinks that Shionibus is like some sort of god-like being that's this horrible vessel for this really creepy god that she knows a lot about somehow. And she's just pacing.
And the entire thought is interrupted when you just hear whoop, and you see Woodward slowly letting this blanket that has grass on top of it sink down to the floor perfectly flat, and he just sits down right in the middle of it.
So you're already on kind of like a sandy, dusty dirt road, but the minute you take out this 10 by 10 blanket and put it down and it lands, you hear this kind of like delightful magical sound as the grass starts knitting into the dirt, and suddenly you can feel the plush, dewy green grass and mossy, ground. It feels like you're on a beautiful plain of grass.
Woodward, he sits down and he looks at Alona, says, "Okay, give me about 5 minutes and we're gonna go warn the others at the cart, aren't we?"
Maybe, if that's okay.
It's the only reason you'd be worried right now. Now, I would like you to keep in mind they do have multiple horses and 2 working wagons to get away from whatever may be coming their way.
I know. You're right. I mean, maybe they'd be okay on their own.
We could try to backtrack. I mean, it's going to be a walk, especially because we can't use any of the main roads.
What's my survival skill? Actually, my nature's pretty good.
Oh, woodwork could get you there, but could get
yeah.
both of them there, but it's still a day's walk, if I remember right. And that was using the main road.
Yeah. So, Woodward, do you have anything that can send a message or get any word to them that there's something really bad happening?
Let's see.
Because I don't.
There, I was thinking about Woodward. He kind of stands up and he looks down at Mush and he's like, "Yeah, it'd be about a day's walk for him. I mean, I guess I could cover some ground. And I think I could cover some ground. I mean, we could get a horse from the town, or you know what? I'm just gonna take care of it." And Woodward walks towards the edge of the grass, and he just immediately turns into a swallow and just boom goes towards the wagon.
So you walk in the grass and just.
Yep, and just takes off towards the wagon.
Excellent. So, so you're flying. First of all, Sidney, you just saw Woodward turn into a sparrow.
I didn't know we could do that!
Yeah, druids, baby.
Yeah,
Since when?
since forever.
Yeah.
it was. I was trying to figure out when I wanted to do it. We had a few. PJ and I talked about a few moments of, and I was like, let's just do it now. So now he's gone.
So he just wild shaped into a sparrow and flew away. You see Mush like looking after him, like pawing a little bit. You know, like cats kind of do that thing, but he's like pawing, and then he's kind of balls up on the grass, kind of where Woodward was, and then just stubbornly plops down like he's taking a nap.
Ilona's just sort of like the same thing as Sydney's reaction. Just okay. Do you want me to wait here?
Yeah. Funnily enough, about wild shape, I cannot speak common while in that shape. So even if he heard you, it would just be tweets and stuff, and then he's gone.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
Oh my god.
really fast, Woodward, give me a perception check.
Great. I was just looking up the fly speed of the small bird.
Excellent.
So, are you an African or European swallow?
So in this,
You get a hero point, Sidney, for that reference.
Yes. Yay.
Woodward's eyes are much better than his bird eyes. I rolled a nat 1 on that perception check. Just boom.
All right. I'll give you this. So you're just flying through. Suddenly, you just hear this horrible calamity. Voices shouting. Nothing really makes sense, but you just hear this horrible, like, rah, 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 and you can hear like stomping, and here's other horrible screaming sound. It's just utter chaos, but you can't really see where it is.
Oh, okay.
If you want to, you can give me a lore check.
Oh, I only is it just, are we just accepting any lore to try to figure out what it is? Because I have 2 lores. One is hooch and the other is forest.
So
that is like, that's what I got.
So those 2 will not be applicable, but you can still make a basic intelligence check.
Okay, great. We roll with that nice +0.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, I got a 16.
Nice. Okay, cool. So as you start hearing the shouting, your little sparrow head is looking around. Even though you don't know what's being said, you can definitely recognize the same shouts and shouts, sounds, and chanting as the orcs were doing back in the fight pit with Shionibus. And the other sound Give me a nature check with. Oh, just give me a nature check. I know you're really good at those.
That is, well, on my die, a nat 20.
Yes.
So I have first 3 rolls of the night. Nat 1, decent save, nat 20. I've been
Nice.
off the board.
Okay, so with the nat 20, you start recognizing after you start hearing, like, I don't know what they're saying, but I'm pretty sure that's Orcish. And then you hear this other sound, and you're like, I know that sound. That is the cry of a griffin. The sound of a griffin when they are in defense mode, which means they are readying for something. For fighting, usually speaking.
I'm making a tough call. Woodward's gonna fly back to Alona, and immediately I can end it whenever I want. So he just kind of pops back onto the grass and starts just detailing everything. Alona, you won't believe it. You don't believe what I just saw. I didn't get to the gate. I mean, I've been gone for a few seconds, so I guess you can see that I never got to the. Well, they're gonna be fine. We got bigger issues. Okay, there's a bunch of goblins. I mean orcs, and then there's a griffin. They could be headed this way. We probably should just head to the others.
Oh yeah. Okay. Are you?
Just,
Yeah.
like,
Absolutely.
He grabs that rug and, like, if Mush isn't up on his feet, just kind of like pulls it out from underneath him and starts like walking towards the city.
Much like a cat when they're woken up abruptly and then realize they don't care, Mush gets rolled over. What? Psst, whatever. And Mush just starts strutting next to you. Really fast. Ilona, give me a perception check.
Okay. Yay! That's up math. 17.
As Woodward is telling you this whole story, you're looking off from the distance. It's hard to miss where he was coming from. Starting to fill the sky, you see this heavy looming shadow, and you start noticing that the shadow itself is actually about 5 griffins starting to form up. And you can see that there's this kind of odd, you can't quite hear it, but you can tell from the gestures, there are some sort of riders and they're yelling at one another as the bodies are kind of awkwardly riding these griffins.
Oh yeah, we gotta go. Alona's gonna start just running, lots of running, maybe some shouting. Hey! Shiona, Roof, Ichi! Ah! Run.
So you're now running into Dunstan proper.
Yeah, I think we're just sprinting for the city.
So you're just sprinting, and you start coming on the long. And as you get down this long, winding road, you come to Rufa, Ichipon, and Shionibus, and a 4th person you've never met before, standing over a bunch of goblin corpses and really weird looking orc corpses with green fluid just kind of oozing out of their body.
Glad you took care of those. There's griffins.
Rufa looks for a second at the goo, looks up where Alona points and looks back at goo. Well, at first I thought they were getting creative, but now they're pulling back on their old tricks.
Nice. How many griffins are there, PJ?
You saw 5 griffins.
5? There's 5 griffins with riders on their back, and I can absolutely guarantee there's probably going to be more goblins and orcs on the way. We need to get these people ready and move.
Oh, dear. Well, Rufa looks over at Tobias. We are supposed to inform the people. So let us inform the people.
So, Ilona, you see this paladin riding on horseback, his golden hair just perfectly moving in the breeze, his eyes literally glowing blue and silver, and they kind of have this beautiful sheen, and you can see this like sparkly dust that like just forms like little shields. They drop out of his eyes. He's got this resplendent armor. He's got his shield is still on his arm as he's holding the reins, sword down. His eyes kind of remind you of Morel's. It's like that, like there's something holy and different about them. And he says, "Yes, I gave these people a promise. And it was only at this moment that I realized that my promise was not as fulfilled as I assumed. So until I'm sure everyone in this city is safe, then and only then can I be sure that my promise is fulfilled." Who's the hot one? And he points to Alona and is like, who's this new? Is this lovely lady part of your team?
Could I roll like either a society or diplomacy to see is he just fronting because Alona's there? Did he make that little speech just because Alona was there?
Give me a perception check.
18?
In some weird sense of irony, you can tell for the first time since you've talked to him, he's being very serious about keeping his promises. And in fact, you notice that when he mentions like, yes, but keeping my promise, and then he sees Alona, he goes, who's this beautiful woman? He didn't even see her until he mentioned instantly, like, who's that? So for the first time since you met him, he's actually kind of being genuine until he sees Alona.
Rufa goes, down, buddy. Let us do what we are here for fuss.
Of
We
course.
don't have time to address how problematic that was. Shionibus Ichirufa, get people, let's go.
Woodward looks up at the guy on the horse and he goes, "Hey, bud, the last time I met somebody I didn't know, they just stabbed these griffins right in the back of the head and took care of the problem for us. I'm hoping you're part of that gang. Because we've never actually fought one."
He looks at you for a second and he goes, "Stab him in the back of the head. What does this person look like?"
You know what? I don't even know how she got up there. She just showed up on the back of the griffin. Orcs flying everywhere, stabbed to the back of the head, straight down to the ground. She looks kind of like Shionibus, except like big gold shield, big sword. Well, I think she's a paladin.
A sword that turns into a spear.
Yeah,
He's talking about Yelenu.
Yeah,
That
isn't
one.
that your boss?
Oh, no. That is not my boss. No. That is my drill sergeant. Very different story. She's like my trainer. No. My boss is, well, technically my boss is a Grand Commander, but since I am the Grand Hospitalier of the Order of the Platinum Hammer, I am my own boss.
But she told us to go get you, and that if we told you that she sent us, you would have to come with us. So she's your boss.
And here I am, but she's not. You know what? You're making some very strong points. I don't have all time to elucidate the finer workings of the chain of command of the Paladine Militarum. Until we do, maybe we should save these townsfolk from griffins. Griffins are coming.
Yes.
Griffins.
Chop. Let's do the thing. Do the thing.
Well,
Oh,
if she's
yeah.
your drill sergeant, she should have trained you. Get up there, bud.
Oh my goodness.
Go get him.
All right, fine. Give me a high altitude. I'll jump on a griffin. Bloody hell! I'd jump through so many.
Perhaps Itchy could throw you. She is quite strong.
I mean, honestly,
not- Go ahead, Sam.
I was gonna say honestly, I don't know much about you, but out of a few of us here, I may have been the only one that kind of like hit a griffin in the air. So
Shoot, you're right. Okay, so you and the guy on the horse, you're Team Griffin now.
I mean, he's cool and everything, but I mean,
Yes, we also did have that little teeter-tottery wagon before.
Or
Before.
we could just warn these people and leave, because if
Yes,
you guys don't remember what happened last time, they kind of know who I am at this point.
Yeah,
Oh, yes,
I'm
true.
here. I support the ideas of the Nubian elf. I believe that we need to get everyone the absolute Asmat's ass out of here and do so before the Griffins arrive.
True. And we don't have many tall buildings yet for us to drop one on.
Is there a? Can I do a perception check?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's a 21. I'm looking for a guard. I'm looking for a bell tower. I'm looking for like the flames of Gondor. Anything to
Sure.
let these people know.
So there's really no, I guess you could say, alert system in the city. There's no
Okay.
bell, there's no guard. In fact, there's almost no people. Everyone seems to be locking themselves indoors. The largest building there is of course this giant one on the hill. But the place is so wide open air, built on the side of a cliff face, that you're pretty sure it has amazing acoustics.
Out of character, I mean, we could burn down the tavern. I think people will come out for that.
Hey,
Rufa, but your investment.
Stop burning shit. Stop burning shit, okay?
Is there any way that you said that you okay, so the summary was in the summary, you killed the dead things that were in the sewers.
Oh, are you talking to Tobias or to me?
I'm talking to you. Sorry,
Okay.
it's out of character.
No, it's totally fine. So yeah, you know that Tobias killed all the zombies in town, and that your fellow players killed the 4 zombie orcs and the super goblin that popped out of the well.
Okay. Is there a sewer system we can hide all the townspeople in until the orcs leave?
Is that to me or to Tobias?
You know what? Let's just go with it. It's Alona. Okay. So
Okay.
here's the plan. We can't there's no way. There's literally no feasible way that we can get all of these townspeople out of this town in time before the griffins get here, much less the orcs. So my thought is we can hide people in the sewers until the orcs come by and leave, or find a way to get out of the city.
So when I first killed the zombies in the city, before I realized I didn't get all the bloody zombies. There's 2 ways to get into the sewer infrastructure, the aqueduct system of the city. The first one is the least comfortable one, and that is down that giant well right there. Don't worry, the water is very potable, but it's about, over 100 feet deep. And unless you have over 100 feet of rope and a lot of time, not going to do it. Now, if you look down, and he points to kind of like where the road kind of bends and goes down another hill. If you look down there, the road carries down directly to the coastline. It's a little jagged, water's a little choppy, but if we can get everyone down there, not only do they have the natural environment of the hillside and the coastline to protect them, but they can move into the nearby cave where all the water processes the sewage and hide them in there. It'll smell awful. There might be a lot of dead bodies, but it'll be the most protective site in this entire very exposed city.
What do you think, guys?
Isn't that where the zombies came from?
Bro.
I'm just saying, like, it feels like we're taking them out of the pan and putting them into the fire on that one.
Yes.
Killed a lot of zombies.
I did kill most of the zombies. Honestly, when I was killing zombies, there wasn't any Blue Rock Tribe orc zombies. It was just human zombies, run of the mill, And then the
True.
Blue Rock bastard showed up.
True, but which means there could be more blue rocks in that area.
Maybe we deal with one threat at a time.
Wait, did you say there was normal human ones and then the orcs?
That is correct, little man. Yes, when I first came here about a week ago, there was an outbreak of zombieism. I did this whole lecture about how the plane of the dead works. You weren't
Got
here
it.
for that, but yeah.
Point taken. It went in that order. We got to remember that, and then we got to figure out how to get these people out of town and come back to that. It's very strange that there were just suddenly orc zombies, especially when all the ones that were killed in town were dead and killed by you. Then more showed up.
Yes.
Somebody's feeding zombies in.
Well, I should say this, that brief little lecture, not going to go too long into the notes. These orcs were, I guess you could say, necrotized with goblin science, no necromancy. they were made zombies through a sort of earthly chemical concoction, not magic.
What about the human ones?
Manufactured.
Hey, manufactured, that's one way to look at it. Yeah. So we fought the human zombies. Those are magical. Those are necromantic human zombies. These blue orc biters, they're just some sort of, I don't know, everything special about them came out of a bottle.
All of this is well and good, and yes, we should absolutely talk about it. But may I remind you of the impending griffin and orc army that is on the way? Does anyone else have any ideas on how to get these people out of here?
I do. Is anyone good at crafting?
Depends on what.
Yes.
Well, find some tree bark. I need you to like make me like a cone of announcementing, you know, like when I'm at my show and they're announcing that I'm about to get on stage and they blow into they yell into the thing, and then I'll get up on the building and you hand me the cone of announcing, and I will say quite loudly and charismatically for everyone to gather round, and then we give them instructions and everything will be fine.
Yes. While you're doing that, if you'd like to, I can at least start using this wonderful horse provided for me by the archer friend to start getting everyone's attention, at least making a ruckus of some sort, getting them ready, I suppose.
Nice. Okay. Woodward, do you want to help me make this real quick?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Do you want to make it or do you want to assist me in making it?
I can make it.
All right, and then I'll give you aid. I rolled a 22.
Can I also provide aid?
If you want to, sure.
I got a 14 for a base roll.
Okay.
Got a 13.
Okay. So that will be, you're going to get a +2.
16 total then.
Okay. So, wow, really, everything's a critical one. Okay, great. So you guys make your check. You guys build this. It's an effective wooden cone. Like it's not great. It's not pretty. It gets a job done. Sam, you have a wooden cone of magnification, a voice magnification, I should say. It will give you a +1 to diplomacy checks. +1 to diplomacy checks, as well as being able to affect up to the regular amount of people that you are allowed to affect times 20.
All right.
So if you can maybe diplomatize with 2 people, you can do about 40 people in a giant area as your voice is affecting the whole thing. If it was magically inclined or mastercraft, I'd give you better bonuses. Meanwhile, you see Tobias just running up and down the streets like Paul Revere going, "People, it is I, Tobias Raffit. Hello. Platinum Hammer. Hello. Is anyone home? No one's home." And he's just going around trying was critically failing, trying his best to get people out of the houses.
Oh.
I hate you, Die. I hate you.
Okay.
Ichi looks around, she's like, somebody give me a boost. Just gotta get a little taller to do this.
Yonabis is going to kneel, go to one knee and have her hand out, and then just slowly push her up, be like, "This is stupid."
I want to give you. You know what I'm going to give you a hero point there, Kylie.
Yeah.
As you're like, I'm helping you, and it's dumb. I think that's. I'm giving you a point for that. All right. So, Sam, tell me what you say and give me a diplomacy check.
All right. She gets up there. She's got impeccable balance. So just so you know, she's got her cone up and she's going to announce very loudly, "Ladies, and gentlemen, come one, come all to a fascinating display of town security. Come on down. She's trying to see if anyone comes out of their houses.
Yes, in fact.
I love that.
Okay, so as you're shouting, you start seeing the doors kind of open, and like a whole bunch of townsfolk are like, "Town security? What the bloody hell are they talking about?" And a bunch of people start milling into the streets. Tobias is like knocking on doors, like trotting, going like, "Hello, anyone?" And then finally seeing people on the street and finally rolling an 18 the die face, he goes, "You there, people, fair people of Dunstan, listen to that dwarf. I will be the tip of the spear, but she is your leader. Listen to her clearly, because if you don't, you very well may die. You very well may die today." And so they're like, "All right, security meeting, and they start just milling in from out of all these buildings to you, and 53 is the head count so far of the townspeople.
What's the size of this town from a like from what we've seen? Are we like from a Cobbledale to Maythune scale? Where does this town sit?
So the three cities I can quote that you've been to so far, you have Cobbledale, you have Adelphon Prime, and you have Methune. This is not as big as Methune, because Methune's pretty big. Certainly not as big as Adelphon Prime. It's a massive city.
Okay.
But it's bigger than Cobbledale. I'd say it's probably like 1.5 Cobbledales.
What about
Does it have walls and everything?
No, the whole thing is an open air infrastructure. The only walls of the city is kind of the cliff face that was built into by the coastline.
So kind of like Ashford? Or
Fort Raggedy.
Yeah, Fort Raggedy?
It's much bigger than Fort Raggedy.
Okay.
Much bigger than Fort Raggedy is probably like a half to a quarter of what
Okay.
Cobbledale was.
Mhm.
Anyway, so Tobias is trying his best at the rear end of it. He's basically just with his crappy rolls.
Really quick,
just
PJ,
what you're already
what
doing.
was the signatures I needed to get on that deed?
So the deed already has 2 names on it.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I actually gave you those names. You can
Yeah,
tell
you
there
never
are two women's names. One is Tabitha, and one is Helene.
I'm gonna try to keep my ear open for anybody. Those names being said.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are we going to tell these people?
I was trying to figure out what tip of what spear Tobias thinks he's a part of, because he's literally saying, "Hey guys, I'm the head of the plan. We've never gone over a plan." It's like announcing yourself the manager of a store that isn't open yet. What are you doing?
You do that.
And have we decided to whether or not we're going to the sewer or the other thing in the beginning?
I'll crouch down really quick and kind of like gather y'all folks around. Okay, so here's an idea. All right, we hide the people. Shionabis is their god, so when they come to the town and the town is empty, you've already smitten everyone. They don't have to do any work. They go home. Everything's great.
You made them disintegrate with your great power.
Yeah, so I think we should run. Because I think it has the same probability of working.
Oh.
Just
Like the
running.
Not all these people can run, so we hide them.
That's true. We have to take into account the elderly and the children.
Leave them.
Parts.
I mean,
Oh, snap! Tobias finally starts rolling well. You start seeing more and more people mill into the streets. You now have a massive load of people in the streets, and Tobias is constantly pointing to you guys, going like, I am this big important person, but they're the ones you should be listening to. They're the ones that are going to make sure you're safe. And they're all like, okay. And so this whole town is just milling up to you guys.
Plan's good? I'll yell it to the people.
Woodward walks over to the people and turns around and stares at the rest of the group expectingly. Just like the rest of the town waiting for an answer.
All right, we do it. We're doing this.
Yes, Ichi, your plan. Let's get them into the cave where the zombies came from. They'll have to deal with the smell, but that's totally fine. They'll at least be safe. And we're going to try and convince these guys to go to a different place. Hopefully that doesn't have people.
All right. Okay, we're doing this. So she'll get kind of like up like this and get her cone of announcing, and say, everybody, thank you for coming. Looking good out there. Yeah, for sure. All right, so we have a problem. We have some folks coming to raid your town, burn and pillage. But don't worry, everything's going to be fine. What you're gonna do is you're gonna follow the tip of the spear. Oh, yes, you. Hand in the audience.
Yeah. Is this the zombies again? I was told the zombies are dead.
Well, she gestures to the party. We took care of zombies. There's an additional threat, but kind Tobias has extended his contract to ensure your safety. So follow the tip of the spear to these caves down there. And we're just gonna have everyone hide for a little bit. It's gonna be great. Bring some poopery, stinky down there, but it's better than the stench of death of your fellow villagers. But it's gonna be fine, and we're gonna take care of everything. Yes, again.
What's potpourri?
Well, it in my country when things
Rufa kind of steps
Rufa?
over and just says, grab a piece of cloth, put something nice in it that smells nice, and cover your nose with it, and hurry, because you're all gonna die if you don't.
Oh, we're going to the sewers. Yeah,
Yes.
That place is not stanky. Yeah, I'll go. You see a bunch of townsfolk immediately pull out a handkerchief, whip, and put it over their nose and mouth, and they're like, "We wear masks to stop bad smells from getting in our noses."
Everyone wears a mask. Wonderful. Oh, it's great townsfolk. So follow the tip of the spear. If anyone you know is not here, go get them as fast as possibly can.
As anybody's walking by, Woodward's just reminding them, it goes over the nose.
Over the nose.
and they're making sure they're like, is my nose covered? Yeah, your nose is covered, mate. Good. And a lot of them are like, yeah, we work by the. Oh, we're doing that. All right, hold on. This is mine, but I'm wearing a headset, so I can't put on. So it's like, oh no, we work down in the aqueducts all the time. We wear masks every day. Really, if you're not wearing a mask, they're like, get on our level, and they just start walking down. And Tobias starts clopping over. He jumps off the horse. He takes it by the reins and he offers it back to Shionibus, and he says, "I think if I have this horse, it's gonna have some problems in the aqueducts. It might look impressive for you to have a war gift for your conquering. Well, the choice is yours, my lady. Apparently, you're the god they're all fearing."
1 second. Rufa has an idea. As the townspeople are leaving, can I get he reads the names on the deed?
So as you're saying that, you see two women like in the walk to go down. I turn and go, yeah, what do you need?
Yes, we need some signatures here. It is part of the situation to help save your lovely town. I just need your signatures right here. Quick, hurry, before you all die.
So, give me a deception check.
All right. Let's see. Deception. Dirty 20.
All right. Now, as you're lying to them, I'm going to impose a penalty, just because they know it's their bar, and the minute they look at it and recognize the deed to their business, they're going to go, "Why do you have to sign a deed we've already signed for business relating to running away to the aqueduct.
Yes, we will be using your business to save your lovely town from the ravages of the big, nasty, beastly orcs who are coming on a fleet of griffins who are here to, chop you up into little tiny little pieces.
Sure. Yeah, sure. They take the deed, they roll it up, and they pocket it, and they go, my mother owned the tavern, my grandmother started the tavern, and my cousins own the marble quarry that built it. If it breaks down, I'll just give my cousins more work. Thank you for giving me back my deed that I put away carefully in my office. You're a good man. Now, excuse me, I have to go in a shit-filled sewer. And they just start trudging down the hill with the deed that you had.
Okay, then my idea to save the town will not be able to work without the use of the tavern. And he's basically not saying to them, but saying to the party.
So they're already going down the hill. Tobias has given the horse reins over to Shunibus. And do you take the horse reins, Shunibus?
She's going to take them and just immediately climb on. Like, thanks.
Wait,
Just like,
the horse is your gift? I thought you were taking Tobias.
Tobias, like, he's about to run to join the people, and he stops, and he goes, I'm sorry, what?
I mean, it's
Theodobus
just
immediately
a
is gonna
horse.
like turn pinkish, like start like blushing pinkish, and just like quickly turns the horse.
Okay, if she's got to get out of this scrap, now it's just Shionibus and a horse that's fighting the orcs, and not the Grand Hospitalier used as a war bargaining chip and Shionibus fighting the orcs.
You could see Tobias literally having a mental breakdown as he's like, the people I have pledged my oath to save them from the undead. The hot elf chick who I just hit on earlier, who's going to be all alone, according to what little man said. And he's having this like, and he stops and goes, all right, listen, little man. I need to be given an order here because I am being pulled in two directions. And as amazing as my hands are, they are not big enough to cover this entire city. Where do you need me to go?
You should definitely be the gift because a horse doesn't mean much to a bunch of orcs.
Oh, bloody hells.
But if it makes you feel better, I can give your horse to the people.
Oh, man of his tits. What am I going to do? All right, fine. Here's what's going to happen. The horse would be lost. It would be worthless in the sewers. It's probably going to break a leg on the stones. So I will stay on the horse with Shionibus as an offer to the orcs as they raid. Who's going to guide and protect those people in the sewers, lest there be any more surprises? You, Cleric of Afra, you've been trained with medical precision, medical plagues, surgery, and of course, repelling the undead, yes?
Yes.
Ah, perfect. Finally, someone who understands my job. You are absolutely brilliant. Then could you please guide these people down there and make sure that they have succumbed to the long cough, if they succumb to mummy's rot, if they succumb to, of course, the animus plague, if they happen to have a werewolf syndrome. You're probably not going to get werewolf syndrome, but just in case.
I am well aware of everything that they could possibly catch, and yes, I was fully planning on taking care of these people. Excuse me while I go take care of these people.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm used to running triage and I'm used to shouting things. I apologize. You're gonna do a marvelous job. I believe in you. And then he just hikes up on the horse and he's just kind of rubbing his forehead like, why am I like this? And he gets all nice and proper.
Lona, I don't want you to go.
Are they on the same horse?
You two horses, right? The one you're on and the one that you. Do you want him to be on the same horse as you?
No, that's what I was clarifying.
I think
you'll ride backseat.
Woodward walks past Tobias and he says, "Hey, to be fair, big man, you aren't like this. A gnome had to tell you." And just walks farther into town. And just like, just heads on. He's like, "No, I don't know who this guy is, but I'm leaving now." I think if we need a group of people to guard the people in the sewer, and then a backup group to get Shionibus and Tobias to our last stand area, right? In case they find out.
So are
You guys.
we and this is to Ilona and Chonibus. I'm a little confused. So are we rolling with the whole "you're the god of the orcs" thing? We're done here, go home, or are we presenting Tobias as a gift of war, or what's happening?
Here's what we do. So, Jonibus has been blessed by Gorm, who, is the goblin god who has been absent, but now has a vessel in the form of Shionibus. Now that Shionibus is the vessel, she is now come to this town and disintegrated all the people, but left one person left as proof that she is the all-powerful person, and she has not yet disintegrated this one because she's keeping him as her slave and using his might for nefarious reasons. Yeah.
I think Tobias is going to be into this.
Question. I was wondering if I
No.
could make a lore check to find out the specialty of this town, like their import export.
If you want to, go ahead. Also, what are you? Is this to help with the planning for
Yeah,
the
actually,
oncoming
yeah.
orcs? Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I got
that's
a DM
what...
question.
Oh, yeah, go.
No, yes,
But
Shionibus.
go ahead, Sidney. Finish up.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
no. It's time. You go.
I got a 16.
All right, hold on to that 16. Yeah, Shionibus.
Are all the bodies still down by the beach?
Make a perception check. While you're doing that, Michael, so you're kind of getting the lay of the land. You're understanding that one of the chief exports of this town is kind of like Cobbledale. It's stone masonry. However, this one specializes instead of like an actual rock quarry with a bunch of like more common rocks. This place specializes in very fancy rock. All of the marble that this entire city's made out of is marble that's in the hillside around this coastline. They're also very, very close to boats that want to come in and buy the marble and then go off and trade. However, with the blue rocks constantly attacking them, the boats coming in have been a little sparse.
Okay. Rufus gonna look over to the group. Those boats, actually, could we not have the townsfolk sail away on them if possible?
Sorry for clarification. There are no boats.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
I thought
never mind.
that's my bad. There are no boats.
Okay.
Shionibus, what was your roll?
18.
18. Looking down again over the hillside, over the cliff face, you can see that there is still a massive pile of bodies. Still, I'll say this, drastically not as big as what you last saw before the fight broke out. A lot of bodies in that giant pile are gone, but there's still a bunch of bodies there.
Okay. She's going to turn to the group and be like, small problem in this plan. I won't say it's a brilliant plan, but it's a plan. We have bodies on the beach still.
Wait.
So I can't really incinerate them and him be the last one. And she like looks at Tobias and she's like, if there's still bodies on the beach.
This is actually perfect though, because Tobias, you killed all the human zombies, right? So they look like humans.
That's
So
true.
it looks like Shionibus, you killed all those humans. That's what that looks like.
Well, killing is a hell of a lot easier than disintegrating. So I think we should probably change our story.
Quick question.
Yeah.
What are the conditions of these zombies? Like, do they look like they've been sick, dead for a while, or like freshly zombified?
The only person who can see them is Shionibus because they're literally at the bottom of a massive cliff face. I'd say if you go to the bodies themselves, make a medicine check, I can give you a better description of kind of their maladies.
Okay. Rufus going to turn over to Chonibus and ask, question, are these zombies, the condition of them, they look like they've been dead for quite some while, like due to sickness or they're freshly killed?
Well, Tobias said that he got rid of them when he first got here. So that was, 4 days ago or so? No one has seen him in 4 days until now. I assume maybe 4 days ago.
Well,
They're
if
dead. That's what you're
if these
asking.
bodies are dead look like they're dead due to disease or something, we could always also scare these orcs by telling them that there's a plague in this town.
Sydney,
it's dangerous.
What idea were you having, Sydney? Because you were like, yeah, and you kind of deflated a bit. What was you had something percolating in your head. What was it?
My thought is because since Shionibus is a magical person to these people, she could easily have created some sort of massive death thing, whether that be a plague, whether that be a scourge, whether that be magic, whether that be whatever, to decimate hundreds of people, i.e. zombies, on the beach. So what we do is we tell the orcs when they get there that Shionibus, who is the avatar of this powerful god of scars, that she killed all the people. Look, they're all the way down there. She killed them with her special godlike magic abilities. They're all dead now. Go to the next one. You took too long.
Could we build on that lie by saying that essentially she's the horseman of pestilence? So that way they won't investigate the town and discover the town folk.
Michael, make a lore check. Oh no, give me a religion check. Michael.
I do like the idea that Shionibus has killed all these people and taken the time to throw them over the edge of this cliff. So like, I may have killed them, but it's my
One
town.
by
I
one.
want it to be clean.
What was that, Michael? 22?
17?
17. 17. Your character would know there is no horseman of pestilence.
No,
and you would
as an out of character.
Sure. But you would also know just from what you've experienced with the slightest amount of orc religion you've run into that orcs don't believe in that. That their god, they believe, doesn't listen to their prayers and is quiet. So saying like she is the horseman of pestilence for a metaphor, they'd go, why? Like, you know that probably wouldn't be a strong argument to make.
Not culturally relevant.
Yes, it would not be a culturally relevant. In fact, if everyone wants to get some orc lore to kind of better suit the lie, those who want to can make a religion check or a lore check, and I'll kind of give you some more information you can kind of use to better lie to these horrible people coming in to kill everyone.
Speaking of, how close are they, PJ?
That's a good question. Has anyone made a perception check or a survival check to find out?
I'm going to make a perception check right now instead of a lore check.
I will
Perception.
also make a perception check.
All right.
I got
I am making a lore check.
Nice.
I got a
It's already rolled.
20.
For,
Critical 20!
It's going to be a lore check.
All right,
Nice.
lore check. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to call on you by name. I'll get the number and the check because I think everyone's in this. Let's start with Ian. Ian, did Woodward roll?
He did not, and that's because it's not going to be beneficial to the team. If I do that, it could possibly only hurt you guys.
Fair. So what I'll say is everyone was like, so Woodward, what about orcs? I mean, they're tall, sure.
Yeah. Based off of all my other checks, there's a possibility that I could hand you guys a penalty.
Michael, what was your roll and what was the number? What skill were you rolling? What was the number for the skill roll?
It's not going to help. I was rolling for religion. I got a 4. It's not going to help.
You know that Gorm is spelled Gorm. That's the critical sound from a critical that happened a while ago, but it's okay. There's a lot of criticals, and I believe Kylie got a critical, so you earned it. So Gorm is spelled Gorm, and you know that his symbol is green. Sidney, give me what the skill was and give me the number for the roll.
I got perception and I got a 25.
Awesome. As you look in the sky for the griffins, you're starting to see a very, very weird gray cloud on the horizon. And as the gray cloud starts to kind of part, you see 5 shadows swoop down in perfect formation. And you can see these giant forms are now just covered in bodies. So they're moving a little slow, but they're coming. You can probably put it at having 2 hours tops before they're directly over the city.
Oh, okay. Cool. How far are the townspeople out of the city?
They're slowly making their way. The problem isn't so much the mountainside going down. Like Tobias was saying, the reason why the horse wouldn't make sense going there. The problem is the rocks, the rushing current, and of course the uneven ground leading into the aqueduct under the city. That is where a lot of these people are slowing down because it's very treacherous for a massive group of people to step around in those conditions.
Okay, gotcha. Anyone else? Check. I have to
right.
think.
Go ahead. Sam, what's your skill check? What's your number?
Mine was perception, and I got natural 20 for a total of 28. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Are you also perceiving the oncoming attack?
Yeah.
You start to hear a different sound. You start to hear not the flapping of wings, but the chanting of orcs on the horizon. As you can tell, there is now a foot army probably coming through the front gate. I mean, they're about an hour away, but they're coming.
Okay. So, but the army should be here before the griffins.
Probably they'll wait for them, but yeah, you can assume they're going to arrive before the griffins do.
Okay. Cool.
Last but not least, Shionibus, what was your skill and what was your role?
I did a lore check, and that's a dirty 20.
All right, dirty 20. So, having lived for over 2,000 years and a lot of that spent with like learning about orcs and whatnot, first of all, no culture is a monolith. The all brush cannot be used to paint everyone. Every orc tribe is a little different with a different rich history, culture, manifestation. There are some unifying things, but they are different in each of themselves. You know that the Black Spear tribe, mostly because of their environment, survives off of raiding, ambushes, and everything they can find in forests. They're mostly used to living in dense forests. The Red Rock tribe comes from the mountains, and to them, griffins are gifts from God. There's an old myth about one of the first Red Rock leaders that went off on a pilgrimage to save her people because they had been basically either stranded or ambushed and stuck on a mountainside, and they were dying. And their leader, this woman, went off and she was gone for 3 months, and she came back with an entire army of griffins that saved them from starvation and death. And then the Red Rock tribe started growing up alongside griffins. They are a holy entity of war for them. Now, kind of going into the more general culture of these people, you know that orcs are big on 2 things: efficacy and trust. All of them survive with violence to a small degree, but these 2 things are massive. If an orc cannot be trusted, then they are shame and they are disembodied, not killed, but they are no longer considered an orc because they cannot be trusted. And efficacy is important too. If an orc isn't efficient, if a spell isn't efficient, if a blade isn't efficient, it must be cast out. They do not have time to waste on just as good. They need best, they need better. They are straight to the point, they don't mess around, and they just need crap to work. So I think what you are kind of gleaning from this is that the best way to lie to these orcs is to make the lie as simple as possible and as violently efficient as possible.
Got it. Oh god. Wish me
They're gonna
luck,
be so
guys.
happy. They're gonna be excited. You did all the work for them.
So you guys can compound your knowledge of that Gorm is green and that orcs are tall and everything else I just said, and you can make a plan. If you haven't settled the one you have right now.
Shonibus, you
Uh,
killed all the humans, yeah?
Yeah.
You killed all the humans with your godlike powers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, there they are. Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? They were not efficient enough to kill the humans before you could. So you're gonna take their griffins.
Oh, say that.
I don't like this plan anymore.
Yes. Go big. I like it. I
Go
like
big.
it. Tell them that
Will-
it's a shame to Gorm that they were so slow, and that as recompense, you require a griffin to take care of the next town, and that they need to take a break, go back home, train up a little bit before moving on.
Slight
Question: Is Woodward
slight
here?
problem there.
Woodward's Woodward's sitting back and thinking. He's listening to all this, but he's thinking. Why,
Rufus
what's
gonna
up?
kind of lean into Woodward and whispered, "I think a little bit of Rufa's rubbing off on our companions."
I mean, Shionibus is trying to lie her way out of more than one thing, so I'm guessing this is kind of your guys' wheelhouse.
Shionibus is gonna look at both Ichi and Alona and be like, I love the enthusiasm. Absolutely impeccable. Slight problem. Not every tribe of the orcs have the same god. Like, yeah, they're the same gods, but like Gorm didn't give them the griffins. That is the problem. So I don't feel like it's gonna go over well if I'm like, oh well, Gorm's gonna take your I'm gonna take your griffins. Like, I don't think that's gonna go over very well. But I love the plan, love the enthusiasm. Don't ever lose it. Just maybe not right now.
God, it's Gorm.
Is it? See, I'm not ready for this, guys. I'm not ready for
We
this
got
at
some
all.
time. We're going to get you ready. And how about instead of we're taking your griffins, how about you're like, no, I'm not angry. I'm disappointed. And
I
you
like
know,
that.
it makes me really sad that you do something like this, that you guys would be so inefficient.
You
Maybe
speak
they'll
orc, don't
gift
you?
you. Yeah, I speak orc. You speak orc.
Maybe
We speak orc.
it should be us two, and then
Yeah.
the blonde, and then oh yes, stay with me. Yeah, you're gonna stay with me instead.
Rufa, can you make like a fireworks display or something? Make her seem magical. You could do this, right? I don't know. You're resourceful.
Really quickly, I kind of want to say Rufus kind of like in the background having it's like that meme, the popcorn eating meme.
Yeah.
Right
So I
now.
think you stop as they're like, "Hey, Rufa, can you make her look magical?" Mid popcorn munch.
Yeah. Perhaps I would need the resources of the town, which do we have the resources of the town at our disposal?
I don't think we have the time. Don't think we have the time.
Well, if you consider the resources of the town an empty town with no one to guard their shops, then yes, you have the town at your
Hour.
disposal.
You got an hour,
But-
Rufa. You can make it work.
but I highly discourage any nefarious behavior.
Didn't you just
Okay.
steal something from the last town?
I'm working on it.
Tobias goes, wait, you stole something?
No.
As a cleric of Afra, you stole something.
Was that supposed to be a secret? My bad.
Oh
Rufa
my.
kind of looks at Tobias, says, "Can we consider all this right now eminent domain? We use what's needed to for the greater good."
Listen, as my charter states as a Grand Hospitalier, I'm only entitled to 3 things. Nearby medics and chirurgeons, medical supplies, and place to set up triage. Unfortunately, I don't know if any chirurgeons or medical... Wait. The cleric of Afra, you said you knew divine medical diseases. Are you a healer?
Yeah.
Would you like to be a hospitalier and help me with any sort of triage needs in case people get sick, zombies reappear, or this whole operation goes Miniver's tits up in the air and we need to stop an invasion from killing all these people? You'd be acting with the authority of the Platinum Hammer for today only.
You know, maybe I should take a step back from the planning aspect and really refocus on my skills and devotion to my god. Yes, I'm going to take a step back from this and follow you to help the people.
Great. So it sounds like myself and the cleric of Alpha are going to go make sure the people in the well full of dead bodies are healthy and safe.
I think that's the best idea. You have my suggestions. You take them and do with them what you will. I'm going this way.
We're gonna do
Sounds like a
great.
good plan.
I promise.
I believe in you. Afra's
At least
blessing.
someone does.
I think Woodward wants to get within range to hide to make sure that he's there for backup in case things go sideways.
Question, out
Yeah.
of character, has anybody used the cantrip of thaumaturgy or prestidigitation out of character?
I mean, I've used it when I was playing other characters, but
Oh no. Has in this game so far, so Rufo knows.
not that I know of.
Okay, never mind then.
Okay. So time's running out. So here's what we're going to do. Just to confirm, Sidney, and I totally don't blame you if you don't want to go with Tobias. Let me rephrase this. I don't blame you if you don't want to be around Tobias. He is going to go down and protect the people in the aqueducts from any potential necrotic flesh, any diseases their bodies may do, and protect them in the sewers. Are you going to go down with him in the sewers and the people? And you do not have to. You can stay by in the city and hide like Woodward is doing.
Oh, I know.
Okay, I just want to make sure you knew your options. I apologize.
Oh no, Ilona is having a midlife crisis. Battling between, oh my god, what is this happening to me? What? And she needs to take a minute. So she's gonna go protect people.
Okay.
PJ,
Yes.
question.
Sure.
This is about your world. How common are like stuff like fireworks and stuff?
Most of them are magical in nature, but yeah, the site is very common.
I mean, would if it be available in this town? I mean,
Oh, like wholesale? No, not in this
yeah.
town.
Okay.
Bigger cities like Alphon Prime, yeah. Some
Okay.
little marble quarry that turned into a
Mhm.
Grecian like coast town, probably not.
Okay. Oh, the fact that we did see that shrine to Gorm in that other town, can we actually recreate that here?
If you want to try, you can do that. You can use a religion check to recreate the shrine to Gorm, as well as anyone who speaks Orcish, who wants to try and put the holy words on the shrine. You can do that together. If that's something you as a group want to do. We also have other plans. I know Woodward is hiding in one of the buildings to kind of lay low for, I don't know, a defensive ambush or some sort of observational post.
Rufa has I have an idea. Rufa's going to gather whoever's going to be staying behind,
Mm-hmm.
and I was explaining to them, perhaps they could build like the shrine around the well, have somebody kind of perch near the well with that loudspeaker and pretend to be the voice of their god and say, yes, this is my chosen one, blah 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 blah.
It'll be at penalties, but I'll allow it if you want to. Meanwhile, whoever's inside the well better make sure you're doing a great job of making athletic checks, because that is a 100, easily 100, if not 150-foot straight drop. And you may not like the end result.
Well, Rufa, they do already think she's the avatar of their god. I think maybe the literal voice of their god might be pushing it a little far. However, I love the shrine idea. I love, like, it really conveys the visual imagery of we've conquered this town already. So we should do that part. That part.
Okay. We're splitting the party. It's happening now.
I have one other question.
Yes.
I got a 23 perception check. What's the formation of these griffins? Are they all in a line? Are they in a line just kind of heading out and they're all next to each other? Are they doing the V shape? Specifically, is there one in the back?
Glad you asked. They use what you can tell as a flying V with a rear guard, basically a delta or a diamond formation. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 in the middle, 5th in the rear.
Good.
5th in the rear is a little higher than the other 4.
Great. Cool. Good to know.
All right. So, Woodward, you are staying and hiding inside a building, correct?
Not in a building. I want to be like in between crates or something with open air above me.
Okay. Give me a stealth check, and I will give you. Let's see, you're about the size of a crate, so I'm going to give you cover. Partial. No, give you cover.
Not bad. Stealth is Dex +2. I got a 17.
Okay, 17. I gotta make a note of that. All right. That's how you spell Woodward. Okay. So we got that. Now, so sorry. Sidney, you're going with Tobias down the way, yeah?
Oh, yep.
Okay. You're going down there. Sam, where are you going to be?
I'm going to be next to Shionibus, and once they seem like they're coming, I'm going to be like kneeling next to Shionibus, like reverently.
Okay. Cool. So you guys are going to be in the middle of town, getting all like you're posing like a badass. Rufa, where are you going to be?
Is there like a house or a building that he could hide in and kind of peek through the kind of the window?
Oh yeah, there's tons of houses. You can pick anyone. The town's basically empty at this point.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that.
All right, give me a stealth check.
I like Ichi standing by reverently. It's this whole scene of not only did I defeat the all the humans here, but I've also set up a diocese, and this is my bishop. So the city's now mine.
Welcome to the Church of Gorm, home of the Gorm. Can I take your orders?
18.
18. Okay. So you all get into place. Tobias does his best to help people over the craggy rocks, to help get them inside the aqueduct. He's doing his best to get them inside. Once the hundreds of people are flooding the sewers, he draws a sword and shield. He looks to Lona and he says, "Now, how can I help you? Do you need me to pray here with you for them, or do you need me to do Overwatch in case any of those dead bodies get a little creative?"
I think it's best if you watch for the dead bodies. I think I can handle the people here.
I know you can. I will, if you need me or whatever, make a light, and I'll come. And if I need you, I'll make a light, and then, you know. And so that Tobias then turns around and he starts shouting, "Hello, dead bodies! It's me, your boy, Tobias Raphaelis, House Raphaelis, Grand Hospitaller of the Platinum Hammer, if any of you corpses get up, oh, by Minerva, I will stomp you to the dirt. I challenge you, dead people. That's what I thought. And as he shouts this smack, he fades into the shadows of the sewers. And you can tell by the glowing of his eyes that he's somewhere out there, but he's busy making sure no undead stand up. Now.
Somewhere out there.
Oh, what's the rest of that song? So 45 minutes to an hour pass with great silence and tension. The people sometimes turn to Ilona for wisdom or peace. Everyone gets a little antsy in their seats. Eventually, you can hear what sounds like the storming of an army just outside that hill, the cresting hill that comes down. And they're shouting and they're roaring and they're swearing in Orcish, and you know they're doing their blood cry, blood for blood. They're getting ready to come into this town, get super hype, and just take names left and right. Then you start hearing this loud, like almost like the sound of rain pelting a building or a storm thundering on the horizon. And you hear it as these 5 griffins start breaking the skies above you. And there's this immediate instinct for orders to take over. And axes, siege axes, the size of a whole person, start thundering down into the city. Chunks of marble break and split as axes bigger than both your bodies combined are embedded into houses, into streets, into the tavern, and into the well. And then there's a stop. And you can hear the griffins kind of turn about, and they just kind of sit there hovering. You can hear shouting in Orcish, basically, come forward or move in. And a whole roar of orcs comes into town as you see what looks like an army of Black Spear and Red Rock tribes. And they run and they look very confused to see 2 people, a Nubian elf and a dwarf of Azmakan, standing by the well, and they kind of stop. And the person leading the charge is Zaka, and Zaka sees you, the arrow shaft still in his chest, and he stops his army. He shouts to the sky, "Thoktukain, Dasla," and with that, you see the 5 massive griffins just land. Their bodies slamming into the marble, their claws breaking through the marble deep into the dirt, their wings expanding like swords. Their bodies bristled, their tails thickened, their eyes just blood red, their giant beaks covered in scars as they just like some weird bird lion growling and barking. And standing on the birds, you see a Red Rock tribes covered in red war paint with these massive axes just on their shoulders and a bunch of Black Spear tribesmen behind them. And Zaka walks up slowly to Shionibus. And you can hear him snap and point, and he goes, "Marokra, Saitasir." And you see one of the guys in the birds jump off, and he shouts in Orcish basically like, "Hey, protect my ride." And he walks over, and you see this orc walk up with 3 mohawks on the side, 2 on the side, 1 in the middle, dyed red and black, basically blood that's still fresh and blood that's drying as it's going to the back. The war paint is his own hand in a claw, scratching his own skin, his own blood forming a scab as he walks up. And you can see all over his body the claws of his own bird. And you can see the paint on his body is from the bristles of the feathers of his own griffin, just making this amazing design of texture across his skin. He is strapped in axes and has this giant axe on his back, the size of like a spear. And Zaka now has 2 chains attached to these giant cleavers. And he's wearing the chain around his neck as the cleavers dangle across. And they both look at Shionibus and La Pasiva Dorita. And they're angry, and their brow is furrowed. And in Orcish, they say, the hell are you doing here? And that is where we're going to take a 5-minute break. When we get back, we're going to see if this crazy plan can actually work and if these heroes can BS their way past Maro Krau and Zaka Rauskin of the Black Spear and Red Spear tribe, or Red Rock tribes. Back in 5. We'll see you at 9:35 p.m. or 12:35 if you're on the East Coast. See you in 5 minutes. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for that quick 5-minute break. And we're back with the last or second half of today's episode. If you're just tuning in, what you missed was effectively everyone got to the town of Dunstan and realized that the Green Army, or at least this detachment of the Green Army, is kind of deciding to speed things up a bit and attack the town a day early. And now there's a little bit of panic as everyone's trying to figure out, well, not panic. They've more or less kind of came up with their battle plans. And now Shionibus and La Pacificadorita is staring down the barrel of Zakarauskin, the Black Spear tribe orc, who is basically leading the foot army through, and Mara Krau, who just dismounted his giant griffin, and these two are staring at these two people, the elf and the dwarf, and they're asking them, in roughly in Orcish, what the hell are you doing here?
Well, doing a job that you are a little late to, actually.
Right out the gate. Get him.
You see Zaka with that long chain and his two giant war cleavers hanging off as the chain on his neck going, late? I disobeyed orders from, okay, well, in the voice, I disobeyed orders from Ganaro Karokos to get here a day early. If anything, I am doing nothing wrong with my job. Meanwhile, Maro Krau is just looking at Zaka and looking at all you guys going, I am here as a detachment of the Thoktukain. I am supposed to be doing my job. If I come here, I destroy city or don't, this is not my problem. I don't care. Are you telling me you have destroyed the whole city?
Shionibus, who is still on her horse, just chilling. By the way, she is no longer wearing like her like cloak, shawl, red cloak thing, so she can like show like all her scars and whatnot.
Nice.
She's gonna like look at the bodies down at the beach and then look back at them and be like, yeah, you really should be thanking me, actually. Isn't that right? And she like looks down at Ichi. Like Ichi, who's like still on the ground.
Ichi is looking
Looks back at the orcs.
incredibly reverent and just saying, seeing her work is incredible. The job here is done.
Zaka is noticeably fuming. And Mara Krau sees the dwarf and goes, wait a minute. I remember, little one. They were in the fight pit. They made everyone fight each other. You are a very angry dwarf. I don't know why the hell's you're by Gorm even here.
Well, I mean, I know orcs love a good fight, and I love a good fight. We've got a lot in common. But really, it's not about you. It's about, she looks up like at Shionibus with big ol' eyes. It's about her.
You see Maro Krau look to Zaka and kind of like tap him on the shoulder, and he starts whispering in Orcish, and he's just like, why does this one matter? She is elf. Golden Sand tribe probably kill her people. And you see Zaka look over and goes, and he's like, she is the daughter of Gorm. She is the physical and body of Gorm. She's his, what do these stupid pink humans say? Avatar. And Mara Krau kind of like sneers and goes, he looks you in the eyes and he looks at your body and goes, she's definitely bodied. Yes, she has many scars. She's very good. Is she the one that shot you? We did not talk of this. Pah. And Mara Crow walks over, pissed. Give me a deception check, Ichi.
Okay.
I'm gonna aid and just boost up anything she says.
And also,
Awesome.
before I make this check,
Oh,
she's
nope.
gonna say in Orcish, it's an honor to be shot by her.
Okay, make the deception check.
Okay. All right. I have my roll. If I do a hero point, what does that get me?
It allows you to roll again and take the better of the two.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. It's not that bad, but this
Okay.
roll's a 15. I'm gonna use a hero point and go again, see if we can get higher.
All right.
Woohoo, yeah. All right. That is going to be a 19, 20, 22, 22.
Okay, so you're like, it's an honor to be shot by her. She is this great and amazing goddess of Gorm. And Mata Crow is walking to the bayside and as to the cliffside, and as he hears that, he turns to Zaka and goes, ooh. And Zaka like starts to knock at him, and Mata kind of like goes, like, you want to go? And Zaka just goes, and then in Orcish she's like, it is a gift from the Scarfather to be marred by such a wonderful daughter of Gorm. And he is pissed. Like, Zaka's like, I'm trapped in my own bullshit, and I can't stop shoveling. And Mata Crow walks over to the edge, and you suddenly hear Mata Crow just go, attention. I see hundreds of dead bodies. This you two did.
Not me. It was her.
Shunbis, I need you to make for me a deception check as you
Oh
silently
no.
own slaughtering hundreds of people. As Mata Crow is reading you like a book right now.
Could we inspire
said
her?
deception?
That is correct.
Aid. Could we aid her?
No. You're chilling.
Oh.
Hold on, math.
Oh.
That's a 23.
Ooh, nice.
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 I missed the number. What was it? 23. I just heard the playback. Holy crap. Okay. So you just kind of stare with this confidence, with this cold, powerful, efficient confidence. The look of a person who just built the perfect car and dares you to find a flaw in it. And Mata Crow looks you up and down as you look at him. And he says, I see you, daughter of Gorm. And Mara Crow starts walking back up to Zaka. And Zaka is just like, he's gripping the handles of his war cleavers, just pissed. And he goes, in Orcish, you hear him go, people, fate I made move, go to here. Day early, I shouted orders. I get here, everything already done by some person who has mocked me. And he looks at you and he goes, all right, fine. Daughter of Gorm, avatar of the silent Scarfather. You have done this, yes?
Yeah, and it took maybe 15 minutes. Maybe.
15. All right, fine. I will not question daughter of Gorm. And then suddenly, he walks up to you. He takes your head in his hands gently, puts his head against yours, thunk, looks you right in the eyes, and like, okay, I hate to use this metaphor, but you know, like football players, we're on the same team, and, and they headbutt each other out of respect. Yeah, wham! Like he holds you, headbutts you, doesn't break eye contact, and he looks at you, and he says, "Until Kuruko sends me another letter. What are your orders, daughter of Gorm, avatar of these father of scars?" And he's pissed. He is not bending the knee of joy. He is bending the knee, well, more like headbutting the knee in angry defeat.
So there's another letter sent, you said?
He says, until I get another letter from Kodokos.
Okay.
What is your orders?
Ooh. She's gonna kind of pull away and like stand up, like sit up straighter on her horse. Just kind of look off into the distance and then look down at Ichi. And be like, I don't know, I'm kind of bored. Why don't you stay here? No. To prove your worth, there's a town 15 miles or so to the east of here. Dense forest. You'll find it when you get there. Prove to me that you can handle that one, since you couldn't handle this one, obviously. Yeah, and then you can send me a letter, and then we'll reconvene at a meeting place.
Kodokos, I'm sorry, Zaka, he does two things. Without breaking the head contact, without breaking eye contact, he snaps and summons one of the orcs over. And in Orcish, he says, dense forest, 15 miles.
Give or take.
Towards sunfall from here. And the other orcs like, Molly Moss. That is the only information we have. The town of Molly Moss. And he goes, good. We are going to prove ourselves to the Scarfather and to his avatar. We are going to destroy the town of Molly Moss. And then he looks to
scratch that.
Oh no, scratch. And then he says in Orcish, no. Do not as I say just yet. And he's back here with you.
There's a fort. I don't know how far away it is now.
I knew it.
Are you out of character? Are you sending them up to Fort Raggedy and Asher?
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely is. She's pointing the orc army at this.
They're a bunch of jerks. Of course I am.
Okay, all right. So
They done made Woodward so mad that he punched someone. Like, I'm just saying.
They tried to get you to fist fight. They tried to get you to fist fight and beat up Morel. Anyway,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I shot a guy there.
Woodward killed a man. Okay, so,
With this thumb.
So you're telling Zaka to invade Fort Raggedy in the territory of Asher. Give me a diplomacy check.
Heck yes. Ooh, we're gonna use a hero point.
All right.
This is the best this could have gone.
Not much better. Diplomacy?
Yep.
Can I assist
That's
at all
a
with
15.
my reverently staring at her in awe?
I will let you help her with a diplomacy check. Roll diplomacy to aid her in diplomacy as you're like, yeah.
I really hope
Like
Ichi
little
just whips out.
streamers.
I just hope Ichi whips out that code of announcement and just starts shouting at the orcs.
I will.
Man, I thought I had bad ideas.
I love this. I
I was
love
like
this.
planning on this going sideways and making it go sideways, but this is working.
I don't know who's got the next recap, but I can't wait to look on their faces. They go, yeah, and they convince the orcs to go raid Fort Raggedy.
Oh man. So my supporting check was a 19 diplomacy.
Okay. I won't give you the total, but I do need to know, what was your role, Shionibus?
It was a 15.
Okay. So you tell them to go attack Fort Raggedy in Asher. And like a really good hype man, Ichi is there, and she shows up and she's like, yeah, kill those pieces of crap. And she says something much more intelligent, articulate, beautiful, and charismatic.
I say, yes, Fort Raggedy is much more worthy of a challenge. Oh, amazing idea.
Okay.
Jonas is gonna be like, yes, isn't it? I think I
So
put a lot of them lately.
Zaka looks at you and he says, do we have orders to take everything? And take everything in this context, the way he's conjugated it, kind of refers to a scorched earth policy. Do we have the right to kill everything on our way until we get to Fort Raggedy?
Great one. She looks at Shionibus. They seem to have shown that they lack, and she like looks the guy in the eyes, precision. Maybe you should give them a more pointed task. We know that they can scorch the earth, but can they really achieve your goals?
You do have a point. They haven't proved themselves, have they? It's a shame, really. No. Get to the fort, burn it to the ground. If you complete that, send me a letter.
So Zaka looks at both of you, nods with acknowledgement. He never lets go. One hand gently behind the back of your head. He turns to everyone and he says, Polamdoras foragadi dos ashar. And everyone just starts shouting in Orcish, we make a war promise to God. We are going to slaughter everyone in Fort Raggedy in Asher. And it becomes this huge thing, and they're chanting it like Polamdoras foragadi, and they're just like pumping up to go send a 150-man militia to go slaughter a bunch of dumb drunk hicks. Now, as they're hyping up, as Maro Krau just kind of like resigns, this is stupid, and goes back to his giant bird and kind of like, you see Maro Krau kind of like playing with the griffin's face, like, who's my favorite bird? As he's doing that, Zaka, who's never let go of your head, gently comes back to the headbutt again, and he whispers under his breath, as quiet as he can, to you, and he says in Orcish, I need you to teach me how to pray to the Scarfather. My brother has been missing in action for over a week. I have not been receiving any war orders for Zanakin, and I'm afraid my brother's dead. Teach me how to pray to Gorm so I can make sure my brother is still alive.
Oh. You know better than to pray for the helpless.
Zaka gives you
and that's when she's gonna turn her horse and start trotting away.
As you let the mic drop on that, Zaka stares at you. He's taking that as a death sentence for Zanakin. And he just kind of stares blankly, numb. And as you turn your head, the last thing you see is a tear start to well in Zaka's eyes. As his dark green skin and jet black hair begin to bristle and turn red. And he, through a shaky voice, turns to the people. He takes the chain off around his neck. He gets his 2 war cleavers ready. And through that kind of warbled, emotional scream, he declares, Thok! Thok! And everyone in the army looks confused and they're like, Thok! And they retort, Thok for Thok! And he mobilizes them. You see Zaka break from the rear flank to the front flank in a matter of seconds as he is sprinting out of Dunstan with 150 orcs. And the only thing you can feel emanating off of Zaka is that unbridled, unending, bristling hatred for all life because they dared to take something precious from him. And that's your fault.
Weird. Didn't he take something from her? Weird.
I mean, have you tried doing any checks on the necklace?
I don't really want to. I'm not emotionally ready for that, PJ.
I know. So Mata Crow, who is like sitting here, you know, like how some people will like kind of like pet horses by the long face. I don't know what that's called for them. A snout, a boopy snoot. I don't know. You see him with his bird watching Zaka just like full on retreat for something else, and Mata Crow is just looking around. And in Orcish, she's like, "We are done here. You are not my brother. Get off my bird. No. You can stay. You are a brother. You are blood. The rest of you, you can go." And the other like 20 Blackspear tribe orcs are just like, they jumped off. They have these massive spears. These spears are literally like 2 times their size. They're probably like a 20, 30-foot spear. They hike them on their shoulder and they start running to the rear flank or to the rear ranks of Zaka's death march. And then you see Mata Crow basically like get the reins, jumps on the bird and stands up on him. Yeah, Sam.
Ichi's gonna like poke Shonibus and say, compliment the bird. Maybe he'll
She's going to look over her shoulder and be like, I like your bird. Can I have it?
You're saying tomorrow. Give me a diplomacy check at -4.
Oh, the finesse. No one.
That's not. That's gonna be like a 10.
A 10. Is that with the -4 or before the -4? Okay.
With the -4.
So Mata Crow is on his bird. He puts a giant hand, slaps on the top of the bird's head and starts rubbing the top of his head. You see the bird looking at you with this death glare, but then kind of like does a little like, and Mata Crow looks at you and he says, I almost had to lose my blood for this bird. This bird is more of my brother than my own family. You will get this bird when you kill me. And you will not kill me with the rest of my Toksukain detachments. Because we will all die before you hurt our birds. And with that, he says, Tokaro Rice wants us back. Now, to wait further instruction. We leave. And the birds just... and they make this horrendous screaming noise as they all start to... And as their wings smack, this giant poof of wind explodes. And Mata Crow looks at you and he says, if you want a bird, find me at the top of the Mata Crow Mountain. Spend 3 months feeding your own blood to a bird, and if you can claim it as your brother, you can have one. And they just fly away.
Ichi's like, it was worth a try.
Shonibus is like, I don't think we're getting that bird.
One of the riders in the back gives you like a double deuce.
How many orcs are on that bird? Just that specific one.
Okay, so the one that Mata Crow is on?
Yeah, he got a lot of guys off it. How many guys are left on the bird?
So Mata Crow is the pilot, if you will. He's got 2 other Red Rock tribes, but they're mostly just kind of chilling, like awkwardly, just kind of like, I'd like to have a war at some point. I'm really bored. Like that kind of body posture.
He's at the point of the V, right?
Yes, he does. Actually, no, he leads the back. He is the one that's the fifth position, slightly raised.
I don't think I can pull it off.
What is your thought? Maybe we can horrendously try this.
I wanted to take the bird. I want to just take it. But
you want a Grand Theft bird?
See, here's the thing: is if they were attacking us, I wouldn't mind so much. But I have this thing called hydraulic push that if I do hit them, they they have to move 5 feet away from wherever they are. So if they hit the guy in the saddle, there's no way this griffin's 5 feet wide, right? So
Oh,
like,
this
he just
thing
plummets.
is massive.
Like if I push him in one direction or the other, he's going to go off the edge. But then I have the other orcs. And I don't know if I could get a high enough animal handling check to barrel roll these guys off its back and just come back with a griffin.
And you don't speak Orcish, so you don't know that entire thing he was telling about how like I spent 3 months feeding this thing my own blood until I had to break it. Yeah,
No.
you don't. Yeah, you have no idea the massive.
But all the
ritual it takes.
all the orcs are following Shionibus's orders, right?
Kinda. I'll say this:
they're not attacking this town.
So what you've seen in character is they show up, they growl and they grunt and they yell a lot. And after they're done, Zaka, and you've probably seen this in tons of people, Zaka storms out with the hatred of a man possessed to kill someone specifically. And he's got 150, well, now maybe 175 big green angry boys who will probably achieve that goal. Meanwhile, 5 griffins carrying about 1 to 3 Red Rock orcs are like, cheers. And they just start to leave. So that's what you can kind of glean from this conversation.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to chance it if they're leaving. I don't want to chance it to just then all of a sudden have like, I would just end up being on the back of a griffin, having to ride away from the rest of the party, hoping to survive the attack of the other 4. And that's just, I don't know if that's a place I want to be in.
Ooh, what is your bonus to nature? Just a normal bonus.
Oh.
What's your? You don't have to roll it. What's your bonus?
My bonus to nature is a +8.
All right. So you would know from just glancing at these griffins, these ain't normal griffins. They are bigger. They are very aggressive. And you can tell that even their wings look denser. These are not normal griffins. These are something.
Okay. So it may not just be easy to like convince them without wild empathy that I'm their new friend. They've probably been trained or something, or
let me just say this to all the legendaries in the chat. I am there for the episode when Woodward tries to break a Red Rock Griffin, but that's not today, I don't think, unless you really want to try.
Okay.
Unless you want to try,
fair.
I'm here for it. Okay.
So the orcs are leaving, guys on griffins taking off, and the city slowly empties.
Yes. After about, I'm going to say, let's be kind and say 20 minutes, the Black Spear and some Red Rock foot soldiers are breaking off. They're going to Fort Asher, and they're probably only going to camp once. They're going to storm right there and kill everyone in Fort Asher. Well, they're going to try and kill everyone in Fort Asher. The 5 Thoktukain, or the Blood Brother or Blood Wing Riders, depending on how you define the word, they've left. They're like, and they just dipped out. About 25 minutes, there's a dead, silent echo as the town is vacant except for 2 souls. A Nubian elf on a horse and an Azmakan dwarf with a voice magnifying cone. And of course, somewhere hidden behind a crate is a gnome druid, and somewhere hiding in a building is a human investigator. What do you do?
Ichi's like, okay, can't believe that worked. You're so stoic. It's good. It works really well. What's Fort Asher, or not Fort Raggedy? Where are they going?
Did us hiding? Those of us who were hiding, did we hear everything and understood everything?
It would have been Orcish from Ichi.
Except for the words Fort Raggedy.
Yeah.
Because even
Zaka
said himself, he was like, Orcish, Fort Raggedy, Orcish. And I was like, so everybody went, oh.
Ichi will call you guys out and let you know like the coast is clear.
Okay.
And let you know what happened, basically, fill you all in.
When Rufa heard about what's going on with Fort Raggedy, he kind of gives a kind of look. Like, wait.
Shrugs. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
What's going on? Luckily,
They're
looks over at
going
Ichi.
there. I don't know. I don't know if we ever talked about it, but I'm not from here. Where is that place? What's the deal?
That is a little real quick, out of character. Fort Ragley's more up towards Adelphon Prime too, right? Location wise.
Fort Ragged is one of the first installations in the city-state of Asher as it connects to Adelphon Prime. It is the far westward kind of tertiary territory outside of Adelphon Prime's limits. So, if you do invade and somehow kill Fort Asher, you have a great backdoor entrance into a major capital with the only democratic empire on this continent.
Yeah, Rufus gonna look. So you all sent the orcs to Fort Asher, which is what PJ just said. This is not good. This is
Well,
very, very bad.
we didn't send the orcs there. She did.
Wait,
Hey,
hold on. If they're headed there, and on one side of them is the force of Adelphon Prime, and the other side of them, as far as I know, is the road they traveled in on as being safe. Is there not a way that we could set up Fort Raggedy as a trap and just take them all out, as many as we can?
Maybe.
see, someone else is thinking.
We've got days to contact Adelphon Prime. They're not getting there anytime soon.
Maybe somebody
Exactly.
in this town in the sewers right now is able to send a message by magical means, or just has like a carrier pigeon. We should check on that.
Oh, we could also do.
Oh, you're not here.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
But we're coming for you.
All
We're
right,
coming
then.
for you.
Look, so yes, Rufus is not a fan of the folk over at Fort Raggedy. They are yes, they are unpleasant people, but we are essentially sentencing people to death.
Don't think
You
about it
kidding
that
me?
way.
Like, did you see how they treated us? I
True,
almost fought
but
Morel. Are you
still,
kidding me? I'm not going to let someone
they are
stand
suppo-
and take
are
advantage of us
supposed
like
to be
that.
but allies that we are supposed to take care of. Unpleasant people, yes, very, very unpleasant, but still, we are sentencing an entire town to death.
So
After they
think
did
about
that,
it
those
this
aren't people.
way. We're yeah, so I don't know anything about it, but it sounds like a problem. It's more like we're buying time. And
By essentially sentencing people to death.
oh well, maybe we can stop that too, just like we stopped this. We saved lives
Feels
today.
we are just digging the hole. We are just digging the hole, taking the shovel, punching it to the earth, and flinging the nut,
Said
and
there were
digging
gonna be
it
people
deeper and
in the
deeper and
town.
deeper
I
at this
said
point.
they're going to burn it to the
He looks
ground.
over at Woodward. I'm starting to understand why you were upset earlier.
I mean, to be fair, at the end of the day, I did shoot a guy in Fort Raggedy, so I don't really have much of a foot to stand on.
How
As far
bad
as
is
wanting.
Fort Raggedy?
All
Yo,
right,
Fort
so
Raggedy
I know,
sucks.
Worth it?
I know that out of character. I know that you weren't here for that episode. Basically, Fort Raggedy was, this sounds so bad, accommodating to everyone here. They gave them free food, free drinks, free housing and board. They're like, yeah, no, you're all awesome. We think you're all the best. And then they saw Morel. And they were telling everyone, yeah, Morel, the Acadians had this whole really weird thing where they basically mind controlled us through magical means so that we would turn amongst ourselves in a civil war, thus securing an Acadian peace talk between Acadia and Adelphon Prime, because they'd be so distracted fighting another civil war in Adelphon Prime's territory that it would kind of strengthen the Acadian argument for peace. And Fort Raggedy was one of the many, many, many forts that were built up in all the wars, and they had to fight a whole bunch of marauding mages that mind controlled them. So when another Acadian walked into town, they were like, screw that guy in particular. They jumped him, beat him up, and threw him into the fight pit, and Astionibus, who was already a 12 champion, or how many, like 5 5-fight champion victor to beat up this Acadian that they found sitting around being a threat to their people who was a threat to them a few years ago. And Morel was like, I don't even blame you. Let's give him a good show, To which case everyone flipped them the double deuce. They got in their carriage. They made a smoke fire and they got the hell out of Asher. So that's the context. Now, granted, screw these guys, but also, they were, I'm not going to defend them, but that's kind of the situation of the story that they're referring to.
Ichi hearing what I imagine is the story from you all is like, okay, we don't want to sentence these people to death, but on one hand, we did just save all the people here. I think we should warn them at least.
Yes, they at least should be warned. And why did nobody think about having them just stand down or something? And
she was
perhaps we should get Alona.
You don't know a lot about orcs, do you?
Let's get Alona.
Yeah, let's get Alona. Yeah, let's go.
This is very, when it comes to morality, Alona, she this is her wheelhouse.
I'll just think immediately I'm going to sentence these people to death. You shoot one guy and look what happens.
So you guys go to get Alona, or Alona, do you go to them once the coast is kind of quiet?
I think we'll be heading down.
You're heading down to her? Okay. Alona, really fast. So it's been maybe let's give it about an hour since you've been in there. What have you been doing while you're there?
Personally, I think I've been talking to the people, getting to know the town, reassuring everybody if anyone is sick, tending to their needs, basically serving as a sense of comfort and resource for these people.
Okay. Give me a medicine check.
Okay. That is an 18.
Okay. Yeah, you're making yourself available both physically and spiritually to the ailments and maladies of these people. You are a wonder for them. Their spirits are raised. You see a few kids or older people, they're complaining about ailments, completely unrelated to any of these events. And with a simple application of course, prayer to Aphra, magical healing, and medicine, they're doing much better. The people start to kind of become enamored with your healing and of course your presence, and they start calling you things like Sister Alona or Saint Alona or like Divine Mother Alona. Now here's the thing, it's done with a kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing, but all the little babies and kids in town don't know it's a joke. So a bunch of like little knee highs are running around going like, they're like, heal me, Sister Alona, heal me. And they're just like, they're like getting hurt on purpose and go, I got an owie and it hurts and it's bleeding. Can you make it all better?
Oh no, stop hurting yourself, please. Alona's going to kneel down to the shoulder and be like, well, this is insanely adorable. I must ask you that, yes, I can heal you. And she touches them, and a little purple flower glows over the wound and it completely heals. She says, but if you want to learn to do what I do so that you can also do this for other people, and you can also be a sister or a brother, well, there's plenty of ways to do that. I follow Aphra. Aphra is the goddess of goodness, light, righteousness, medicine. She's wonderful, and she could teach you an awful lot of good. And she'll also teach you that people just don't go out finding trouble when they don't need it. So you don't need to keep hurting yourselves, because there is something beautiful in medicine and magical medicine, but it doesn't work forever. And you got to learn to watch out for yourself and don't get into any trouble, okay? Please.
So all of the kids immediately do that childish thing when they've just taken on a big, important adult thing. They kind of go, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And when they feel like they've accepted this mantle, 2 boys and 2 girls, from what you can tell, physically speaking, they break out. And you see the boys go, I'm a sister of Afra! Ka 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 ka! Heal, heal, heal! You're all healed! I'm saving everybody! And 2 girls go, look at me, I'm praying! Look at me, I'm praying! And they're all super into Afra. They know nothing about her, but they're all like, when I grow up, I want to be a sister of Afra. I want to be a brother of Afra. And they're just so enamored now by this thing. And then one kid in the back goes, when I grow up, I want to heal people, but I don't want to hurt others. And I think Afro sounds really nice, and I want to go to Afro place.
I'm going to kneel down and I'm going to, can I pick you up?
This one child kind of like, we won't look you in the eyes, but just kind of,
All right. They're hitched now on my hip, holding them. I'm assuming they're around 4?
They're like 4 to 6, yeah, in that range.
4 to 6? Okay.
Yeah.
Hitched around my hip, hold them like this. I'm going to say, now you have a lot of options when it comes to gods. They're all very interesting and very different in a lot of ways. Afro is one way you can help people, but if you're serious about helping people, another person you can talk to is that man over there. And I am walking over to Tobias.
You come into view of Tobias looking tired and ragged, and he's got his hand on the face of a skeleton that's trying to get a hold of his throat, and you just see him go, Gah! And as he does this, you see this blue fire shoot out the back of the skull of the skeleton, and Tobias just goes, may the Platinum One watch over you, and may Minerva protect you, you filthy beast. And then he turns and he sees you, and he goes, hi! Hello, child! And he sheathes his sword, and he puts his shield across his body. And he just goes, hello! And he adjusts his hair, and he tries to like clean up the scratch marks and the blood and the dirt, and he's like, hello, little one. Alona, who is this? Who is this child that you bring before me?
Introduce yourself.
My name is Jeremy. And then you see Tobias light up. And he looks at him and he goes, Jeremy, yeah? Oh, that's a good, strong name, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a great name. Do you know my name, yeah? And he goes, you're the pelican. And Tobias laughs, goes, that's right, I'm a pelican. Yeah. I'm like a big bird. My name is Tobias Raphaelis, yeah? Can I see your hand? And the boy gently extends a hand and he gives him a finger. And this kid just grips his finger and he goes, yeah, see, now we're shaking hands. Yeah, look at that, mate. Look at that. You're like an adult already. So what can I do for you? And he looks to you alone and he goes, what can I do?
Well, I was hoping that everything was dead out here. And I was wondering if you wouldn't mind talking to a few of the kids. about Minerva because they're asking quite a lot of questions about Afra. And I think it'd be very important for them to hear from a great hospitalier about other ways that they can heal people.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Found some stragglers down here. Don't worry, we're all good. Do you mind if I talk to them about two gods?
She's gonna turn Jeremy to the side and go, which other god?
And he goes, "Oh, it's no big deal. I just feel like I should tell him about Minerva. Yeah, because she's important. Also, I feel like I really need to talk to him about Azimuth. You know, the big one, big guy in charge.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then he goes, Jeremy, hey, do you mind if Uncle Toby carries you? Is that okay, little buddy? And he kind of reaches out to him, and Tobias kind of grabs him and shoulders him. And then he starts walking out here, and he goes, hey, did you know at one point your aqueduct had a bunch of scary undead people? Don't worry, it's covered. You're fine. But let's talk about that for a bit, shall we? And Tobias walks off with this young kid, Jeremy. And you can kind of hear his voice going, who wants to hear a story about a dragon? And suddenly like people are like, oh my God, dragons are so cool. And you see all these kids just running up to Tobias. And he's like, yeah, the dragons are cool. And sometimes they're gods. I know, right? And he just walks off with these kids and he starts telling about Azimuth and about Minerva. And like the girls are like, I'm Minerva. And he's like, you absolutely are Minerva. The boys are like, I'm Azimuth. And he's like, yeah. And you can see that it's kind of a weird point. And he's like, yeah. And then suddenly everyone comes down to get you and Tobias.
Perfect.
Hello, hello. Everything going good down here?
Everything's great. I've gotten to know the townspeople and everyone's super sweet. And I feel so much better getting back to my roots.
Wonderful. We sent the orcs away
Okay.
to Fort Raggedy. And she like looks to the rest of them. Is that what we did?
Rufa kind of has that, he's kind of holding his temple like, ugh.
You sent them to another town full of people?
It's not as bad as it sounds.
Well,
Pretty bad.
why are they going to a town full of people?
Because they're a bunch of a-holes. I mean,
Somewhere here, Tobias like put the hand around one of the kids' head. No. She said a-holes. There's a bunch of holes in that house that they have to fix. They have to patch the holes in the house. Come on, they're like 7.
I'm going to gesture everyone to the very edge of the cave so no children hear what I'm about to say.
You're going way in the back.
This is gonna like duck in the crowd and like walk with everyone.
Scooting along in the back of the cave.
Gotcha.
Okay. So you took the bloodthirsty orcs and you put them over here with the bloodthirsty people, and you think they'll cancel each other out. But what you didn't consider was the fact that they're still people and don't deserve to die. Now, you might be thinking, but they were horrible, and I agree. I do. Sometimes beings do horrible things to one another. However, this does not mean that they are above learning and redemption. And we should not starve them of that just because we don't like their actions. No. So what we're gonna do is look in this city, try and find the symbol on the door that hopefully will lead us to Isuo. We're going to tell Isuo that there's a big old army heading to Fort Raggedy in Asher, and he can send backup from Adelphon to hopefully save them from complete annihilation.
Besides the Isuo part, we all kind of came up with that already, Alona. Like on the walk here, that was kind of the plan from the get-go. Don't worry. It sounds a lot worse than it is from the start.
That's what I was trying to tell you. It's not as bad as it sounds.
It's pretty bad. It is pretty bad.
You are not helping at this point, Rufa.
Okay.
Wait, hold on, Rufa. Pretty bad. You tried to steal these people's business in a time of need. Like, hold on. Like, if we're just throwing things out here, so I think we need to just calm down. Like, we just need to stop with that nonsense.
No one's gonna give it back. It was just bothering.
We got it. You didn't even give him money. You just told him to sign a piece of paper. We already have the plan. We're gonna warn him. Hopefully, we can get Adelphon to do a surprise attack. Fort Raggedy. I don't know how much of the town will be left in the war, but at least they'll already have the numbers to fight the Green Army on the way there.
Okay. How are you planning to warn a town when the orcs already have a head start and griffins?
Well,
Oh, yeah,
go ahead, Ichi.
I was just thinking maybe there was somebody in this sewer system with like some magic or a carrier pigeon.
Hey, PJ, did I
Yep.
talk to anyone in this town during my time here that has any magic or a pigeon?
I'm
Carrier
glad
pigeon.
you asked. I've already pre-rolled, and of the hundreds of people in here, only a small handful have magic. On the sorcerer side, everything they can do is things like I can mend a wheel, I can make a fire start. I can't send a message over a week's travel north.
Can I ask if any of the townfolk have seen the mysterious door that leads to Isuo's house?
They all look around to each other and they say, no, every house here is practically see-through. You can look through the window and see exactly who's living there at what time of day. There's no house that we have that's got any sort of special mark on it or anyone inside that we don't know of.
That means he's only in the capital cities, which means the closest one is Methune. Huh.
Which, to be fair, isn't that far away. It's closer than Fort Raggedy.
It sure is. That's true. Okay. Does anybody else have any other ideas of how we're going to warn the people of Fort Raggedy and Adelphon, because now a great armed force is basically at their back door, that there is a great armed force practically at their back door?
Well, don't we have a badge that basically gets to tell people what to do? I mean, at the end of the day, we have the badge from the War Council. We get a few people on horses. We tell them, you got to warn them. Send them to Adelphon. And just trade off horses on the way there.
Trade off horses.
Yeah, so the horse doesn't die.
The people in the town, there are a few.
You got to
horses,
switch
yeah.
horses so the horse doesn't die.
Yes, that's true.
Because it can't run all day.
Rufa just got a really bad look on his face. And he realized, as if he just realized something bad.
Does you wish to share it with the group?
Rufa looks over to the group and, oh, remember when we talked we were talking to the senators at Alpha Prime that most of them were on holiday, and there is not enough troops to really be much of use.
Is holiday still going
Yeah,
on? though?
it's perhaps as the downfall kid, if there is another standing army or militia nearby, closer by, for the agony that perhaps could be called to arms.
To answer your question, Kylie, the holiday is still going on. In fact, when you left Methuen, Ielenu had to become the active leader in charge because the senator and her special guard had left. And it was up to her to train the local town militia to defend Methuen until she arrived. Same thing with Asher. Most of Asher, Gots, when you kind of trip through it, all of the Knight Senatari and their personal militarium are vacant while they are on a holiday, as they've been doing politics for most of the year. This is a national holiday, which is why the orcs have chose this time to attack Adelphon and its respective properties. And you suspect the only reason why they're kind of aware of this was because of a sort of rat within the senators, which I believe is owned by one Rufa. Meanwhile, Fort Raggedy, as awful as those people are, they're the only well-trained standing militia in all of Asher that could handle a threat, let alone one of this size. As awful as it may seem, those awful yahoos have been probably ready for this fight for the past 3 years since Acadia tried to magically control their minds into a civil war.
So what I'm hearing is I didn't make an awful decision.
Look, I'm not saying it's great, but I'm not saying it's the worst thing possible. Like, you don't know. You don't know. You can go and support them, or you can let them be. These are your choices.
Can I actually on this pull out the map and like look if there's anything else close, like another town or like city state close to Asher that could possibly help?
You're looking for a nearby place to Asher that could help them with this thing?
Yes.
This attack? Yeah. Give me a survival check or give me a lore check.
Ooh. Not good today. That's an 11.
It's okay. You would know this just because of how much you heard it moving through Asher and Gots on the way to Methuen. Asher and Gots are considered sibling city-states. They entered Alphon Prime together, and they do whatever the other one says, especially with the whole thousands of years of politics. So you know that if you tell anyone in Gots that Fort Raggedy is going to need reinforcements, whatever militias in Gots will definitely jump at the chance to help Fort Raggedy. But of course, there has to be a militia present. That's the difference.
Ugh.
Really quick, so is
Okay.
Gots closer than Fort Raggedy to us right now?
Where you are, the closest city state would be going straight north to Methuen. From Methuen, you can break northwest and get into Gots easily. That's if you want to.
Will we be able to make it there before the orcs make it to Fort Raggedy, you think?
They are going on a straight path north, right to Asher. They asked if we're doing Scorched Earth or if we're surgically striking, and according to the Daughter of Gorm, they're going to head straight for Fort Raggedy, which means they're going to be on a beeline. They're going to ignore the entirety of the city-state of Asher and take over Fort Raggedy. So in order for you to go north by about 2 days to Methuen and then shoot northwest by maybe another day into Gots, they're going to already be at the gates of Fort Raggedy easily.
Okay. Real quick, out of character, would we estimate that at the very least Fort Raggedy will be able to hold out for maybe a few days at least against the orcs?
If anyone wants to, they can make a check to figure out the military might of Fort Raggedy. You can do a lore check or you can do a perception check.
I'm doing
Why
a
did-
perception check.
While you're doing that, I'll be right back. Go ahead and roll those. We'll get them in a
I
second.
got a good roll.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because I got an idea. I got a plan.
Ooh.
We like a plan. We like a plan when it works.
Mm-hmm.
We
We
like
like-
a plan when it doesn't put other people in danger.
Hey, hey.
Let's just say we might be reenacting one of the Lord of the Rings movies.
Oh my god.
I think
Rip,
I
I've never
think
seen
Sidney
it,
knows
so no help.
which movie I'm talking about.
On the third day, look to the east.
On the third day of
Sakos.
Christmas, I choose.
No. We fix. You never seen Lord of the Rings. We fix. We fix this. We
We've
fix
talked
it.
about this.
I know we have, and we fix it. Eventually. With
I
time.
was like, you haven't fixed this at all.
Oh, friendship gauntlet, I see you. It's you. We've only known each. We fix.
So you've never seen Lord of the Rings?
I've
Is that
never
what
seen
we're
Lord of the
talking
Rings.
about now?
I've never seen Monty Python. I've never seen the Titanic.
But like, all right,
I've never seen The
only one
Notebook.
of those has Orlando Bloom with flowing blonde locks. So I think we know what's first on the list.
Yeah, we prioritize Lord of the Rings for sure. We can do watch party. We can do this. We have technologies. We friends. We can. It's worth it. It's been a minute. We have to watch the extended edition though.
Yeah, extended edition. Always better than the normal one.
PJ, I got
Talking about Lord of the Rings, right?
30-20
Yes.
Dirty 20. Which one? Lore or
perception.
From what you remember looking at the people and seeing how they worked and operated, you know that, say dirty 20, you know that these people have a population in this fort, this massive fort city of about 200 people, maybe 250 people. You know that out of 250 people, their fighting force probably exists to about 175 to 200 people. Almost 90% of the population is a militarized group. You can tell that they are very comfortable and very proficient in all aspects of war, as well as protecting their own city. And from the animosity and teamwork that they were able to whip up in a few minutes to attack Morel, who is a very powerful opponent, you can tell that they've probably prepared for any ambushing or secretive attacks against their people. Fort Raggedy may be a small ragtag group of jackasses, but this is kind of their thing. Since Fort Raggedy was installed during the massive amounts of civil war that break out with Adelphon, these guys always stand ready for a battle. It may be horrible, may be bloody, it may be difficult, but you're pretty certain the end result may be a victory for Fort Raggedy. It just won't be pretty.
Okay. Rufa, did Chonibus put out the map?
You guys, I think, have spent many attempts in the past to copy the map. So you do have a copy of the map on you.
Oh, no, I meant that Chonibus earlier, she said that she took out the map. It's still out, right?
Oh, my apologies. I don't know.
Is it?
Is Shinbis, is it?
Yeah, she's still holding it, like looking over stuff.
Okay. Chonibus, would you mind putting the map on the ground for a moment?
She looks at the ground and is like, not in this. You know we're stepping in sewage, right?
Would you mind holding it up then for us? Rufa has
How
idea.
dark is it in this cave?
It's pretty dark. Once you get away from the mouth of the cave by about 15, 20, 25 feet, it gets pretty dark.
She's gonna hold it up
Okay.
in
Lona,
complete darkness.
would you mind illuminating?
Gaslight.
Thank you. Well, Rufa has a plan. If we, our group, make our way over to Guts to warn them, and hopefully they would be expedient with it, we could bring in their army or standing militia to Fort Raggedy, while Fort Raggedy, Rufa believes they would be at least able to hold out against that many forces for perhaps a day or two. So we have to be very, very quick. But it also, in the meanwhile, as we are going to Guts, we send the contingency of perhaps Tobias and the this town's quickest riders, along with extra horses, to expedite their way over to Fort Raggedy. Hopefully, perhaps, if they can overtake the large moving army. If not, at the very least, make it there to let them know that we are going to be arriving with reinforcements, so they could keep their hopes and morale up, so we could come in and save the day.
Tobias kind of leans in and he says, may I
Yes,
offer something
yes.
here? Sorry. No, it's okay, Jeremy. Remember the prayer we said, make of me a man not fleeting. That's right. Remember that. No, you could do it too, Sally. Just a woman not fleeting. Look, Asmat, Minerva, love you both. Anyway, sorry. I've been hearing you. There's a little bit of an echo. Listen, I don't know if you could tell from those horses. They're not exactly long distance riders. They're workhorses here to move shipments of marble. And these townsfolk, they're not long distance riders. They're not military. They're not anything. If we want to have the people of Dunstan save Asher,
Asher.
Asher. Fort Raggedy
Should be that though.
Well, probably. I've never been there. Sounds gauche. But listen, if we want them to save them, we can't rely upon Dunstan to save these people. Plus, Dunstan's outside of Adolphon's empire. They have no reason. In fact, they've even come this far south to not be involved in Adolphon. How about we do this? Either A, we let those people at Fort Raggedy get what they have coming to them, or we do it our bloody selves. Didn't you guys say you... Wait, how'd you even get here if you were from Methune a few days ago?
We had a wagon.
What? You lost it in a bet? What? You still have your wagon?
It's was out of character. What was the town again called?
The town?
The town that we
Oh, Bryx, yeah.
Oh, right. It's at the Bryas. We had to abandon it after certain things.
Okay, right. So the town of Bryx, which is a few hours away, north of here, might I ask, and if these orcs are charging off with this death wish, then they would be moving right through Bryx following orders, which means they wouldn't be in Bryx for long. Which means if you have a carriage in Bryx, bloody hell, take the initiative, man. Do it your damn self. We have horses. We have the initiative. Look, all I know is this. There are bodies going missing down the long road by the King's Cave. There's bright and shiny lights. I don't know what the hell it means from Molly Moss to the east. There's a whole bloody hell's knows what life going on in this continent. I apparently have to go back home to, I don't know, probably report back to the Grand Commander. And if you're trying to stop these orcs attacking Fort Raggedy, it seems like you're better armed than anyone else. Right? Am I the only one who believes that we're you are the best armed for this?
Well, yes, we are the best people for this job, but Rufa's idea originally was just to warn Fort Raggedy.
Right, and he's telling you that that's probably the only people who can warn them are us. So our options are either warn Fort Raggedy that there's something coming, which means we go back to Bryax, we go to Hera, Antigone, Morel, and Joey. We go to Asher, we tell them what's up, and we either stand next to these people that we don't really enjoy and we fight with them, or then we go do something else. However, if we are going to warn them, we have to do it.
So we are not going to get the reinforcements from Constant.
We don't have time.
Listen, mate, if there's one thing I've learned from my many years of pilgrimages, is that sometimes the only person who can do what you need to do is yourself. Delegation's a waste of breath, and sometimes you gotta take the lead.
Perhaps we can do both. We do have Morel and and everybody at the other wagon, we could send them to Gaunt's as we go to Fort Raggedy. Would that work, perhaps?
I don't know. So Morel and Tigon be
Antigone and Hedda and the boy.
the boy. The boy. Who's the boy?
He's a boy, it doesn't matter. What we have to know is the possibility of this army working twice as fast and moving twice as fast. He asked for my prayer before he left. He's on a war mission at this point. They could be doubling their speeds and we don't even have time to even get there.
Yes, that's why we tried to get to Fort Fort Raggedy, while we have Model, Antigone, Hedda, probably safe to have the boy with them, to Gaunt's to get reinforcements while we go over and stand with Fort Raggedy, because honestly, that is also a very strategic location for this whole war thing.
Tobias looks to Woodward. You, little man. I'm judging by your very humble clothes that you are also very wise. Also, you have a badger for a friend. That's cool and a little weird. Do you have any wisdom to offer us in this time?
I'm honestly kind of torn. I think that we're gonna need the reinforcements no matter what, because the last time that we fought the orcs, we had a building and we only got about 20 of them.
30 something.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, with 150 orcs going on to Fort Raggedy, there's no way that just us, a cart full of people, is going to be the reinforcements they need to take on all 150 orcs heading their way.
And
I
this
think
is a military fort. I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt you, little man.
I mean, if you can call a collection of sticks that are sharp at the top of fort, then yeah, I guess it is.
I was rude interrupting you. So this bundle of sticks is a fort. I've seen worse. We used to have this one fort out in the pilgrimage. It was literally 2 bedrolls and a sign. But please, so these people in Fort Raggedy, what were you saying? I apologize for interrupting you.
No, we're just gonna need more. Is that's at the end of the day is we're gonna have to split up to get some people from GOT. We may be able to hold them off for a day while the reinforcements arrive, but I don't see us making it out with just a fort against magic casting, axe wielding griffin riders. And that's not even talking about the foot troops.
But let me ask you this. I've done my job here in Dunstan. What is your all's job? Not to be rude, but you don't look to be a unified national front, if that makes sense. So why are you traveling together, and what's your aim at all this?
Ichi looks really conflicted and listening to all this, and she looks up at everyone and says, "You all know that I'm not from here, and when I came from Asmacon, I didn't know there was a war happening. I didn't come to get involved in it, and honestly, I'm just here right now because I thought we were getting paid to get this guy. And I mean, with my uncle gone, and I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know anything about war. Well, this war."
So there's a war breaking out all over this continent, this hemisphere, the planet. And marching north is a detachment unit of pissed off orcs going to a military installation full of angry, pissed off people, and you need to warn them. Is this what I'm hearing? Yeah.
I definitely feel like we're responsible for warning them, and I want to help you all. I really do. This isn't really what I signed up for.
Listen, I'll tell you what. My job here is done. Technically speaking, I'm a free agent. And technically speaking, I don't really want to go back home. It's kind of boring there, the island of the Platinum Hammer. And technically speaking, Ialenu told you to bring me back. She didn't say when. And technically speaking, I am one of the best holy healers in the planet and one of the best leaders of a triage, according to my rank and title, or so I'm told, and a bunch of other things. Or so I'm told. How about this? How about you let me go? You don't bring me back to the Order. I find some horse somehow. Don't ask questions. I'll get one. And then you let me go to Asha. You let me go to Gots. You let me do all of this. And if I miss you, or if I'm bored and I've got nothing better to do, maybe I'll find you wherever you are. Azamat and Minerva work in mysterious ways. Okay, no, they don't. No god works in mysterious ways. They're very upfront. The point is, let me go. Don't bring me back home. I'll do the work for you.
I think at this point it's all we got.
Look, all I'm saying is you're in the hands of a very capable healer. You also have Rufa. I'm sure Woodward does great things. That badger, by the way, is super keen, mate. I like your badger. Look, you don't need me. What am I going to do? I'm going to slow you down. Believe me, I'm terrible in the mornings. I'm not a morning person. I get on a horse. I ride. I go to Mithun. I go to Gots. I go to Asha. I'll make sure Asha's okay. You get to do whatever you need to do. And then I don't have to go back home. I get to carry about on my duty.
I'm fine. I don't really care about the Platinum Hammer, so I'm fine with this. I don't really care who needs you either. So if we're just gonna, if our entire thing is to send this guy off in one direction to collect a bunch of people that'll eventually, hopefully, show up at the city, then Tobias, I swear to whatever god you believe in, if you start telling everybody this was your plan, because this is literally what Rufa's been saying, I will find you. We will find you. Or maybe an orc army will find you, since we can point those at things now. So if this is the plan, we just need to get started, because we're only wasting time with a bunch of running orcs and flying griffins.
Tobias is like, you're right. And then he stops and he goes, oh, you had to say the S word, didn't you? And then it like compelled with he bends the knee to Woodward. He pulls his sword from his sheath. He pulls it hilt out to Woodward, and he bows his head. And he said, and he's just like, I, Tobias Raphaelis, House Raphaelis, Grand Hospitalier, and the healing hands of the forward way, do hereby swear an oath upon the divine Minerva and the grand platinum dragon Azamat, that I will ride hard and swift, that I will not take time with leisure, that I, being a man not fleeting, will go to Fort Asher and aid in the war effort until such a time that they are safe and repelling all enemies. And I swear here upon this knee that I will be a man returned to thee, that no sacrifice shall stop me. Will you, the party of this promise, accept my oath to you today?
I was so worried about you getting down on one knee in front of me, and after you've been going after everybody else here, that I'm fine with whatever you're swearing, bud.
Look, mate, if I was to ask you out, to only get closer to your badger. He looks fluffy as hell. But
That's all fine, but we're
Yes.
doing great. Swear to who you need to get a horse, man.
Sure. And then, and to which he looks to you and he goes, "Could you grab the sword? It's part of the ritual. It's grab the hilt. I'm extending it to you."
Yeah, I guess I'll do that. Woodward just kind of like he's looking at everybody, being like, "Nobody tell anybody else I did this because I don't want to be associated with this guy." And he just grabs the handle and let's go.
All right, so you touch the handle, let it go. The
No,
minute you touch the handle,
Whatever.
the second you touch the handle and let go, you see in your head this ancient Akkadian woman clad in shining armor standing on a battlefield surrounded by dead devils and demons. She is exhausted. She is covered in blood, and you can see people matching her armor lay all about her, and she screams into the sky for a brief second, a millisecond, as you let go. And Tobias says, "Okay, good. Well, that's me then." Puts his sword away, gets his shield back on his shoulder. "Minerva has made this covenant between me and thee and all of us around us. So I'm hereby honor bound to make sure that when this task is done, as I have made it clear, I'm to return to you."
Ichi leans over to Alona and whispers, "Are they married now?"
Yes.
Woodward just looks over at Tobias and says, "What the hell, man? The sword wasn't even the bad part."
And looks and goes, you saw the lady and the demons? You saw that?"
Yeah, bring that up. Bring that up. If you're swearing these oaths and you're giving
Yeah.
people visions and such, you bring that up before they, like, the sword isn't even the hard part. Like, you're fine.
Look,
It's this vision thing.
Look, mate, it just means that she likes you. That's all it means. This means the covenant is good.
I don't know who she is, and I'm not interested in her being in my head. I'm not, just get on your horse, dude. Just go for it.
Yep, I will find a horse and I will get you a faster horse. And that is me. And you see Tobias get up, his sword's in his sheath, his shield's on his back, and he goes, "So my lady and my dragon guide me back to you. Be safe, don't die, and don't make bad choices unless I would make those bad choices. Toodles!" And Tobias just starts running off. And he says, "I'll see you all again. And that's a promise." And he vanishes in the daylight sun. Well, the afternoon sun at this point.
Rufa looks over at Woodward, just kind of nonchalantly says, "So, what are you registered at?"
Oh, shoot. This wouldn't be the first, and it wouldn't be the first I forgot. So we should just rope up and go.
I see Sidney's.
Whoa, we're getting busy. You gotta send me that backstory, bruh. I gotta
There it is.
figure this stuff out. So as Tobias gets on a horse, he, spurs the horse hard and rides off. He vanishes in the distance to fulfill a promise he has made upon holy ground, an oath to you heroes that he will be the one that will go and warn everyone and help Fort Asher defend against the waves and waves of pissed off orcs. And believe it or not, that is where we're going to end episode 21 of Edge of Legend. An army repelled by guile and lies, and the Grand Hospitalier swearing an oath to them that he is going to save that very fort from the army beguiled through lies.
We didn't do too bad, guys. We stopped the wholesale slaughter, so there's that.
Could be worse.
Yeah, we made
Exactly.
it a mess and cleaned it up. It's like,
First time for everything, right?
yeah.
And in the end, isn't that what Pathfinder is all about? Is making your own mess and then cleaning up spectacularly.
That's very true.
All right, so join us in the next episode where these heroes have to figure out where they're going next to stop World War Orc as the Green Army is spreading and a massive pissed off detachment army is going off to invade one of the last auxiliary forts before entering Adolphon Prime. So I'm really curious to see where we go next week. I'm excited. Without further ado, let's do some exit introductions, exit rows. Starting, of course, with Ian. You amazing little man. Well, yeah, actually, Ian's quite tall, but Woodward is small. Ian, tell us who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Wow. I cut out right before I'm supposed to say goodbye, right?
Yeah.
Good.
I probably cut out too, so it's all
So
good.
it stopped and I was confused. My name is Ian. I play Woodwort, the gnome druid, and if you want to find me anywhere, you can find me at Bearded Scald on Instagram or Twitter. Come by, say hi. I can also see you on our Discord.
All right, next up, and we're going to do things the exact same way. Mr. Michael Powell, tell us who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Hello, everybody. I'm Michael Powell, and you can find me all over the internet on my social media, which is Mr. Kapow. That's MRKAPAO. And also my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Michael Powell Does Stuff, because I do a lot of stuff like my YouTube channel, Fantastic Tales of Adventure. This week on Toyzilla Network, we are going to take a break because tomorrow is, of course, Thanksgiving here in the States. So we're just going to next week. So yeah.
Awesome possum. Next up, Sam, tell us who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Hello, I am Sam, and you can find me at Hey Sam Sterling in all the places. And I'm looking forward to figuring out this whole mess next time.
Oh, very nice. And Kylie, please tell us who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Oh, it's me, isn't it? Sorry, I forgot to take notes. Hi, I'm Kylie, or I go by Kai. It really doesn't matter at this point. I played Shionibus, the Elven Ranger, who is in a hot mess right now. You can find me at Kai's Wonderful Life on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, the whole shebang. I will be a part of a D&D streaming group, hopefully December or January, around that time. It's all about kind of magical universities and all that jazz, so it'll be fun.
Very, very nice. I can't wait to see it. I'm so excited. And of course, last but not least, the bookend. Sidney, tell us who you are and where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Hello. My name is Sidney. You can find me at Sidney Rubino, SIDNEYRUBINO, on all the social medias. And every Tuesday, I post a video of myself reading folklore and fairy tales to my YouTube, which is just my name. So if you like listening to stories and also talking and thinking about cool morals and whatnot, you can find me there on Tuesday.
And my name is PJ Megaw. You can find me everywhere on the internet at pj.megaw when I'm out here Wednesdays with these amazing people who I absolutely love and adore and treasure. You can also find me here at Nat20 Productions on Tuesday, 3:30 to 5:30. However, not for the next month. In fact, starting next week, Ian and Michael Powell are going to be helming up at the table for about a month or so. So get used to them because they're going to be amazing. And who knows, maybe when January rolls around, they'll join them back, or who knows? We'll see what happens. But so Tuesdays, go and please check out the Bearded Skulls and, of course, Mr. Kapow himself at the table, 3:30 to 5:30 Pacific Standard Time p.m. on Tuesdays. CCRIT is on hiatus, and I am just going to be here doing awesome stuff. But we're going to have some amazing announcements come December. We're really excited. We hope you dig it. And we're going to be having a charity game Saturday, December 19th. I think I can officially announce this now. I'll probably do it again next week. December 19th, Saturday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be doing a 6-hour one-shot as we follow Ulfgard Company, Larry and Voss, and of course the Ice Queen herself, Bowen Reelnag, as they have to take this woman and this son and go all the way back to the northern citadel beyond the White Steppe and the Mist Sakai Madan. And you better believe, you know, babies in the cradle with a silver spoon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know soon. I don't know the lyrics. I botched that song. But the point is, we hope to see you December 19th as well as we support Extra Life and a children's hospital of our choice. So please tune in then. Tune in next week. And until then, I will see you. Same Nat time, same Nat channel. And we love you. We'll see you then. We're going to be doing a raid. I don't know who that raid's going to be.
I got one.
Megaw
I got
Pow.
a person.
Who's the raid?
Captain Robert. That's CaptainRobear.
Bear. Okay. Let's see if I'm doing this right. Also, before we do this, everyone in the chat, Effie, Burton, I love you. Thank you so much for checking us out. I know you very well from Blank Slate. I'm so glad you checked us out. Keyword Calamity, love what you're doing. Lady Altario, always a pleasure. And again, Reap Psyche and Malice and Maynard, you guys, love you so much.
And thank you for everybody for dropping the bits. That's
Yes.
really awesome.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yes, Effie Burton, thank you so much. And now we're going to try and raid. Hopefully, I spelled the name right. We're going to raid in 3, 2, 3. Hold on. Now I have to count all of you guys. I'm the worst at raiding. 3, 2, maybe
Ish.
1. Raiding now. There we go.
There it goes.
Nice.
Because it has to count everyone before it throws them in. It's the worst.